Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy David at the Irish Hotspur, Ireland's #1 Spurs fan, bringing you Stats with Jack and giving you every tactical and stat analysis you need for Tottenham versus Crystal Palace on Saturday morning, kicking off at 12:30. Jack, how are you, my man?
Keeping really well, David. Keeping really well. This is kind of the show where it's almost like I'm turning in, like a school project every week, to the Harris Army. And the Harris Army is practically my professor, David. They're my teacher, giving me, the grades, and what type of stats they like, what tactics, they like to see, the animations, etc. So, yeah, basically just turning in my stats with Jack every week to the Harris Army. And here we are again.
No, look, I'm absolutely loving it. There's good buzz around the fan base with this one as well. They do like it. But what I want to do, say to the Harris Army out there, is look, we are trying to perfect this. So if there's anything you would like to see added in or stuff like that, please do get your suggestions in and let us know. We are open and we want to please as many as possible. So please do get your suggestions in, guys. It's a massive help to us as well. But look, Jacko, we may as well welcome some of the Harris Army. Let's see who we have. We have Tottenham Tantrum. He says, love Stats with Jack. Big up, David, and all the Harris Army. I would rest Sonny and keep him for the games with Chelsea and Arsenal, which is very important to our chances. What do you reckon with that, Jack? I think it's a fair shout. Look, if Sonny, for me, if there's any sort of niggle there, don't play him against Palace. What would you say?
I think that's pretty wise of you, Dermot, and as well as David. I think that's very wise of both of you. You could probably think about it where Sonny, I do believe he was carrying in an injury into even the international break. He had a bit of an injury with Spurs. Seems like it was obviously made worse over the international break, or at least exacerbated a little bit. And so you have to think about is it really worth, keeping Sonny for a game like Crystal Palace? Of course, it's a Premier League game, and, you can't take any Premier League game lightly, but there's still plenty of depth, I feel like, to replace someone like Sonny just for a game like this. I think, of course, though, for the Chelsea and Arsenal game, it'd be great just to have him rested for those. Totally agree, Dermot. Very wise of you.
Yeah, big up, Dermot. Big yourself up, man. Hope things are good with you, lad. I hope things are all good. What a man. Singh says, everywhere we go, it's the Tottenham boys. He's absolutely loving it. Big up, Singh. Hope things are well, my man. Mr. Edwardson, hope things are good. Says, making all the noise. Look, me and Jack make a lot of noise, that's for sure. I can tell you that. So it's a perfect song for us. The Smasher says, feeling sick, but we'll watch anyways. Big up the Smasher. Hope things are good. I hope you're okay.
Yeah, just hope you have a bucket right next to the Smasher in case maybe any of the stats as well, or maybe too overbearing. Just keep a bucket next to you and, stay hydrated as well. Just make sure you're well fed, though, too. Make sure you're well fed, the Smasher, especially if it's a cold. Feed a cold, start with fever.
And look, the best thing I can suggest, lad, is plenty of water or plenty of Ribena. That's what us Irish use, a bit of Ribena or flat 7-Up. But I prefer the water instead of flat 7-Up. So get that into you, my man. Mr. Hutchinson, Derek Hutchinson, big up, Jack.
Big up, Derek. Good to see you.
Look, I'm just not here. Big up, Derek. No, I'm only messing. Look, it's Jack's show. I'm only taking the piss, Derek. Dark Sun G21, big yourself up, my man. I hope things are good with you, lad. Hope things are good. He says, guys, we should be able to win, hopefully without Son, Skip and Stevie in our upcoming 2 games. Any updates on the watch-along? Look, first of all, I believe that Skip will play against Palace. That's what I'm hearing. Do not take it as the gospel. I'm not Jesus. It's not in the Bible. So that's only what I'm hearing. Stevie, I don't have no updates on. And look, any updates on the watch-along? Dark Sun G, 9:30 tomorrow night. Tune in and I'll have the full where you can watch the game with myself and Jack. Don't worry about that. So 9:30 tomorrow night, Dark Sun G. I'll have that answer for you 100%. So stay tuned, my man. Dan N
Sorry to keep you waiting, Dark Sun G, as well, though. But as I said before, Matt Hayes, we love Matt Hayes and we don't want to, if he's doing it, then we will be over there with Matt Hayes. If he's not doing it, then we're going to have to figure something out for the future. But I do think Matt Hayes is going to be coming back with them, though, Dark Sun G. But we will let you know. Sorry to maybe keep you, out of the loop on it. But yeah, we only know as much as you, Dark Sun G.
Yeah, no, look, I'll hit him up later on. I'll give him a ring tonight, and I'll find out the answer. 9:30 tomorrow night, I'll let you know, my man. Dan N says, new Harris Army nickname suggestion for Brian Gill, David Hilva. I like that, and I'm taking it, Dan N. So, look, don't do any copyrights or anything like that, but I'm going to use that. I like that, Dan N. Big yourself up. Good name. Mr. K. Good evening, Mr. K, reporting for duty. He says, hi, everyone. Come on, you Spurs. # Harris Army. Absolutely brilliant. Big up, Mr. K. And, guys, I want to see more of this. I want to see more of hashtag Harris Army and more of Flat Cap Army everywhere. Let's put it everywhere. Let's make everyone know who we are. We come as a unit. Me, Jack, and all you guys out there, the Harris Army. Just let's paste that absolutely everywhere. We're all a part of this together. Paul Brown says, evening all. Big yourself up, Paul. I hope things are good with you, my man.
Big up, Paul.
Toffee 20, come on, you Spurs. Paul Brown and Toffee 20, I always see you in the chat. I don't know where you're from. I think, Paul Brown, you are from Ireland. Whereabouts, let me know. And Toffee 20, let me know where you're from, man. I always see you here. Always see you here, my man. And Mr. K, hashtag Stat Attack. Yeah, that's another good one. Get that one banding around as well. Any more hashtags, people get them in. Aaron Dove, my man, I hope you're here for the full shift tonight now, lad. Full show. Don't be dipping out on me, Aaron. Don't be dipping out on me, my man. Big up. Christopher York, everywhere we go, absolutely loving it. Big up, Christopher. Jack, this is your guy, Paro Miguel Escobardo says, big up, guys. Huge
big up, Paro Miguel. Absolute legend. He's an absolute legend, Dave. He's honestly everywhere. He loves the Harris Army, loves the Flat Cap Army as well. Paro Miguel, I hope you're keeping well. Honestly, you're a true legend. Yeah, no, he is. He's a big ambassador of the Flat Cap Eurotalk. Big yourself up. ATX7 Gaming, good to see you. Says, what's up, David and Jack? Let's make it 4 out of 4 with another clean sheet. Come on, you Spurs. Look, I'm absolutely pumped. I keep saying to Jack, Eagles are just meant for the golf course. So, look, hopefully at the end of the day, we can clip a few wings and hopefully take them Eagles down. That's what I want to do. Big up ATX7 Gaming. Sue Smith says, hi, I'm not feeling so good. Caught something off my son and grandson, but we'll pop in and out. Well, Sue, same advice to the smasher. Bit of Ribena, flat 7-Up, or an ice cold bottle of water. Get the fluids in. Yep. Flush out the body. That's what I always do when I'm sick. And look, if you're like me, I act like a big baby when I'm sick. I act like I'm dying. So, hopefully you're okay, Sue. Take care of those, Sue. Take care of yourself.
And Tottenham Tantrum wants a 5-1-3-1 tomorrow.
Interesting. That could, in a way, that is kind of interesting. It's like maybe a holding midfielder right in front of a back five. Probably maybe it's like a diamond kind of shape. David, maybe with that 5-1-3-1. But it could be interesting. I'll have to take a look into that, Dermot. Maybe when I'm pulling out the old tactical, football manager and everything like that. Maybe just take a look into that.
100%. And look, we have a few more people here. A few comments you're going to like here, Jacko. Am Singh says, Jack, give me those stats. Look, inject it into my veins. This is what Am Singh wants. He's here. He's loving it. I'm sure I can see, Matt's numbers going through his brain and through his eyes. Big up, Am Singh. Absolutely love it. He says, Jack, you are a young Bielsa.
Oh, I mean, honestly, that's way too kind. I'm saying that is way too kind. And I also do love that you're enjoying the stats with Jack. And I do hope that this one is going to be the best one yet for you. I would say, not at Bielsa levels yet, simply because, that guy honestly has had as much impact on football as I would say Christianity has had on the world. I mean, that guy is honestly... he's like the messiah when it comes to football tactics and everything, Marcelo Bielsa. So I will say, that's way too kind. I have called myself sometimes before. I will say, maybe to big myself up, I'm saying I've called myself Billy Bean's stepson, Billy Bean's lost son. The guy from the Moneyball movie, the Brentford kind of Moneyball tactics. So in a way, I might be Billy Bean's lost stepson.
No, look, I'm saying I'd say Jack's a young Ted Lasso. Look, I think Ted Lasso is the best coach in the world. Jack, you need to watch this Ted Lasso. It's brilliant. I'm saying, look, I think Jack is maybe, look, when I start hearing stories of Jack going around to houses and checking out football players' legs and saying, yeah, they're footballing legs, you can come and play, then I'll start calling him Bielsa, because believe it or not, that's what Bielsa used to do. He's famous for it, going to houses, checking out legs and everything else, and making his decision off it. He's famous for it. Slow Jamrod says, looking forward to this. Big up, Jack.
Big up, Slow Jam. Big up, Slow Jam.
Zoe.
Lads. Big up, Zoe, as well. Always true legend, Zoe.
Big up, Zoe. David says, hi, lads. Looking forward to Saturday. Let's get those 3 points. Come on, you Spurs. Look, there's 3 points on offer, and it's about time we be greedy and snatch them. I don't care if it's daylight robbery or whether we smash them. I prefer to smash them, but either way, I don't care. A win's a win, and I'm happy with both. I have no bother walking around with a balaclava for a week knowing that I robbed them. No problem. Big up, David. Hope things are well, my man. And Smasher, and again, big up Smasher. Dark Sung G says, looking forward to Saturday, 8:30 p.m. Korean time. Please, no easy pass. Jack, he's got a nice late one there, like a Champions League night for me, it would be, at that time. games at that time. So he's got a nice one. You know, do you expect him to be chilling out on his nice white leather couch? You know, a nice craft beer in his hand, enjoying the game?
Yeah, that does. I would say, you know, maybe a bit of Korean barbecue. I will say, whatever else might be in mind. You know, maybe some Korean beers. You know, I've been seeing a lot of Japanese videos about Japanese breweries that are popping up. I'm pretty sure Korea has some great beer over there as well. So I would say, Dark Sun G, let me know if it's a bit of Korean barbecue, a nice beer, just sitting up, you know, maybe in the house or the apartment somewhere and just enjoying the game. An 8:30 p.m. game as well for him is a bit nicer, I would say. I think Dark Sun G, if I'm not mistaken, I do think that's probably a time that you probably do prefer. You know, that's one that you definitely enjoy, like the Australians, like the New Zealanders, honestly, the fans over there and in Korea and Asia as well. I mean, they have to go through so much in order to get up for these games. And it's nice to see them have a game like this, David, where it's a bit more, let's say, just agreeable.
No, it definitely is. You know, it's a good time for Dark Song G. I'd say you're loving life, but Zoe's giving you a new nickname here in the chat, and I think we'll start calling you. And it's Dark Sun Goat, basically calling you the GOAT. You know, so I think we will start calling you Dark Sun Goat if that's okay with you. Just let us know. There's a load of comments here. We may start cracking through some. Toxic Headshot says, "I rather put Sun on and get the 3 points. That's a fair point." Pete from the lane, big up, lads. Big up, Pete. Good to see him, my man. I hope things are well. And look, hopefully I can get over for a match before Christmas. If not, I'll definitely be there after Christmas. And I'd definitely like to meet up with you for a point, my man. Big yourself up. Paro Miguel says, Jack Kaniki, Mr. Statistics. Look, you know, get your nicknames in for Jack. That's what I want to see. Get your nicknames in for Jack. I want to see them. Give me a good laugh. The Smasher says, if the stats give me a stroke, I'll sue you guys. Absolutely love it. And Derek has finally recognized me. Thank you, Derek. I appreciate it. Big up, man. Absolutely love it. We have RVJ TO7. Let's go, bro. How are you, David and Jack, buddy? Yeah, I'm all good, Jacko. You?
Big up, RV. Big up, RV. Yeah, it's good to see. I'm doing well. Doing well, RV. Also, thanks for asking. I do appreciate it, actually. Thanks for asking. Doing well, RV. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. And yeah, hope you enjoy the stats with Jack and enjoy your evening.
Nah, he's definitely doing well. Definitely doing well. Zoe says, I hope Emerson starts if Takango goes centre back. I'd say that's what you will be looking at, Zoe. Ed says, all right, lads, up the Spurs. Big up, Ed. Hope things are good with you, my man. Dan N says it's all yours, Dave. Thank you, Dan N. I appreciate that. We have Mr. House says 12 points. Yeah, he's very confident. Absolutely love it. And Ravja 07 says, come on, Ireland. Big up. Mr. House 2-0 win. Hashtag Old Soul says 53. Hashtag Team Kane. Come on. Connor Cusack says at the Irish Hotspur. Hashtag Harris Army from Prague.
Wow, that sounds nice.
Are you living over there? Are you on a stag? What are you doing over there? Look, if you're up to 10:30, I don't want to know. But, you know, if you're out having a good time, I hope you are. If you live over there.
I think he's scouting, you know, future Sucheks, you know, for the Flat Cap Army, you know, just clearly there's a bohemian, you know, kind of Czech revolution that's going on at the moment. I will say a lot of good players coming out of there. So do let me know, Connor. Do let me know, Mr. Cusack, which players you're scouting over there. Maybe for Slavia Prague. You know, maybe a bit of a Red Star over there, you know, Slavia Pilsen, you know, as well, you know, in Czech Republic. So let me know if you're scouting over there.
Yeah, he could be on a scouting mission. You never know, Jacko. That's a good shout. Big up, Connor. Hope things are well. Jake Farler says, big up, boys. We go for 4-4 on Sunday. Come on, you Spurs. Yeah, 100%, man. I can't wait. Toxic Headshot is saying exactly how we all feel. Big yourself up. So we hope you feel better soon. Sue, so there's a lot of love there for you. ATM Nerd says, I hope Nuno plays Emerson. I think you will see Emerson, I'll be honest with you. And Toffee20 says, I'm in Hornsey, just up the road from Tottenham. Oh, very nice, very nice. Big up, big up. You know, do you get to many games, man? Let me know. I want to know. Paul Brown says, County Clare, up the banner. Yeah, look, not a bad part of the country, I have to say. I've been down there a few times. It's a good spot, my man. Good spot. Whereabouts in Clare? Anywhere near... Ennis, I think it is. Anywhere near Ennis, my man. Mr. K says, Jack, I got most of my stats from FM as well. No, look, Jack, trust me. There's a lot more that goes into this, Mr. K. You have to sit down.
I wish it were that easy. Nuno
should be employing us to do analysis Tottenham, Jack. We have to sit down and watch, boring Palace playing.
He should hire Dark Sun G first. He should be hiring Dark Sun G first, Nuno. He should have Dark Sun G in the dugout right next to him, just whispering in his ear, why easy pass, he left him on the bus, things like that. Honestly, Dark Sun G, I think if anybody were to be hired from there as Army, it'd be you first.
Yeah, 100%. Sorry about the disrespect, Dark Sun G. You're first and then me and Jack. Wayne Bonner, good to see you, Wayne Bonner. Big yourself up. Says 4 at the back. Højbjerg and Dele in the middle, maybe someone else. Gil Link in the midfield and Kane and Mora out wide if Son and Bergwijn don't play. Yeah, that's a good midfield. Big up, Wayne Bonner. I hope things are good with you, my man. I hope things are well. William McKenzie, pick yourself up. Hope things are good with you, my man. Hope things are good over there in New Zealand, NZ. I think you're in lockdown. Let me know you're in lockdown, my man. Let me know.
Big up, William. Big up, Wayne.
DJ Extra says, you just know Easy Pass will be starting. yeah, unfortunately. Ben Dallo says, Jack, you definitely need to watch Ted Lasso, bro. It's one of the most heartwarming shows of the last few years, boy.
Definitely. We'll check it out. Maybe I'll check it out with the missus, Ben. Let me know, Ben, if it's actually a good one to watch with the missus, because usually by the time, we finish these shows, the missus is already home. We have to figure out what we can watch together. So let me know if that, might be actually good for her, because I will tell you, she's definitely not interested, in any more football, because she's already getting too much. So let me know if the show's good enough.
No, trust me, she'll enjoy it. It's so funny. So funny. Yeah, Jack, it's your type of humor. Trust me, you need to give it a watch. The owl lad in there with a bit of a joke says Bielsa checked out players' eggs while phone at the lips.
It's because he has that nice catcher stance. He sees the field from a different angle. For sure.
We have Dan Ensign's knock back some soju Saturday night, Dark Sun G, and then Dark Sun G with the super chat. Big up says rather use youth than Easy Pass. Niall John, Alfie Devine, or Harvey White. They will show more fight than Easy Pass. If I was Nuno, I would keep Easy Pass at home. Look, everyone knows my opinions. For me, I can accept the mistake from Niall John, Alfie Devine, Harvey White, just like Harry Winks makes every time he plays. I can't accept it for him any longer. He's not improving as a player. So for me, I'd rather go with these guys and, give them the time to develop and see what they can do, see if they can become any better. Jack, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Easy Pass is definitely someone that you just leave at home. Dark Sun G. In fact, with the Easy Pass, I probably just make sure maybe you lock the door from the outside just in case, he doesn't get out as well. He'd probably try to find a way through. But as well, Niall John, Alfie Devine, Harvey White, especially Harvey White. I mean, I'd like to see Harvey White come in more. Maybe some are thinking, he's not really ready for this step up. That's probably true. But I would say Dark Sun G, Niall John looks like a real player. Alfie Devine, signed the contract, which just means that, they must have faith in him. They must realize that, he is a real talent. Honestly, I'm quite proud of the boys. I'm quite proud of our youth academy, and I would like to see more of them just simply because there's too much dead weight at the moment. And even if, some might say that, they're probably not ready for that step up, I feel like the dead weight at this club is just so hurtful at this stage that might as well just put in the youth. So I know Dark Sun G agrees with that more than anyone else, though.
And Jack, he's starving himself till after the match. He's not eating. He doesn't want any Korean barbecue.
I know Dark Sun G. Maybe when I saw that, I kind of agree with you. I'm actually not someone who likes to eat too much before the games either. It's just me personally too. I'm not really too hungry. Definitely after the match though, Dark Sun G. And I'm absolutely just almost like a carnivore. Just tearing apart everything. Eating a whole pizza. Especially after a win, Dark Sun G. I'd be absolutely tearing into whatever I'm eating. But Dark Sun G, I kind of feel the same way. I'm actually kind of the same way.
No, 100%. Look, Dark Sun G, you have to eat something, my man. Look, eat something. What? I don't care what you wash it down with, whether it's a beer, whether it's soda, whether it's water, or whatever you like to drink. But at least have something small, man. You can't be starving yourself till after the match. We have another day and a half to go, my man. Come on, Dark Sun G. You have to be eating something, my man. Cody Mack says 12 points from 12, and we will be flying. Big up, Cody Mack. Hope things are good, my man.
Clocking in for the show. Pick up, Cody.
And Derek Hutchinson is calling you Jack the Hat Stat Man.
I like that. Maybe Jack the Flat. Yeah, honestly, that's a good one, actually, Derek. Yeah, let's see if anybody can top that. I was just gonna try to top it, and I couldn't. It would actually fail miserably. So, Derek, yeah, we'll see if anybody can top it. I like it so far.
100%. And look, we'll take a few more comments because I know everyone's shaking their screens, especially I'm seeing there shaking them like, I need my stats, getting withdrawal symptoms. So give me another couple of comments and I'm seeing we'll get the stats up. Don't worry. Jeffrey Studney says, I love that I'm able to spend the rest of my work day with the Harris Army. Big up, guys. Let's get a win against Palace. Yeah, look, I'm glad. Look, everyone else that's with you right now, get them to smash the subscribe on this channel, Jeffrey. God loves an opportunist. But no, look, hopefully we can provide you a small bit of entertainment and some, maybe something we can all take away from this Stats with Jack as well for the Palace game. So hopefully educational and entertainment, Jeffrey, to see you throughout the workday, my man. Bjorn, a Norwegian Viking, hello from Halland country. We must win Saturday. Big yourself up. Jack actually wants to know if there's any new Hallands over there. Correct me if I'm wrong. I actually do think I don't know whether it's his brother or his cousin, but he's definitely playing in Norway. Toxic headshot, big up there from the Emirates Stadium, having a big dump in the penalty area. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Dark Song G says, this is game for Roden and Royal, Emerson, Tanganga for top 6. What I will say with this Dark Song G is that Roden did go with Wales, but he didn't play a minute, and I presume if he was proper fit, he would have played. So I don't know whether we'll see Roden. Jack, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. It kind of made sense to see Roden, feature for this game. But then again, he hasn't really featured at all. He's still kind of coming off of some, kind of obscure injury that he's been carrying for some time. It seems like that's kind of been a niggling injury of some sort as well. So I would like to see Roden, but it just doesn't seem like it's going to be the case. It seems like Jaffet might be the one maybe starting in the back line. Dark Sun G, it just seems like that's going to be the case. But as well, I do love Jaffet, and I do love to see him maybe put in a shift at center back. That'd be glorious if he were to be just as effective over there. Maybe alongside Moon Boots too. It could be a good combination.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Big up Dark Sun G, my man. What a legend. We have Dan THFC in. Big yourself up. We have Willie McKenzie, guys. Everyone wish this guy, luck in his local cup game tomorrow. Look, I'm always fired up when it comes to a local derby. I absolutely relish them. I make sure the cleats are clean, the socks are sparkling. They're washed in the DAS, get them pure white along with the jersey. Make sure the shorts are, just sit on the legs perfectly. And, away I go, lad. Look, I love getting stuck into them. The best thing you can do is just hit one of them really hard in the first 2 minutes. You won't get sent off. You'll only get a warning or a yellow. Just let them know you're there, and your man will think twice about taking you on. Let me know where you play, though, Willie McKenzie. I do want to know where you play.
Pretty sure he's sharpening the boots, Dave. I don't think he's cleaning them. Pretty sure he's sharpening, the bottom of the boots, actually. He's just putting them against, a metal grinder, making sure, they're nice and sharp. There's a nice gleam to them, just so he knows anytime the 2-footed challenge comes in, he knows he's going right through them.
100%, 100%. Who else have we got? We've got Kev Williams, big yourself up. We've got Keith Hicks in the building. Hope things are well. Hope things are well. We've got one mode Adza, one mode Ghazal. Gil will have his first Premier League goal tomorrow. Man, one
nice pronunciation. Way to do that, Dave, also as well. Clever.
Should be patting me on the back. Honestly, do you know that some of them times you see a name, Jack, and you just black out and pronounce it perfectly? That's what just happened to me there. I had one of them moments. You can't help it. Premier Hotspur TV, I hope things are well. It's good to see you back, Simon. Sorry I had to change the plans today. I really thought the press conference today, I was a bit upset, had everything ready to go, and then, found out there was no press conference, so that upset me. Sorry about that, Simo. Sutherlock says, just picture this when we win 3-2 on Sunday with a Winks hat-trick. Never going to happen, ever. Hat-trick of mistakes, maybe. One in injury time to win. How would people here react? Would turn to religion, as I don't think God is capable of making Winks good. 100%, couldn't agree more. We have Adam in the building. Big up, Adam.
Big up, Adam. And Chris is in the building as well. Good to see Chris, of course. Adam, of course. James Redmond. Good to see James Redmond as well.
Yeah.
Anybody else we're missing? Seems like most of the Harris Army family is rolling in. They're rolling into the dinner table, David. Like I said, they're my professor. They're the people going to be grading, the stats of Jack this week. So might as well crack into it. I don't think we're missing anyone else, though. So everybody, big up for joining us. Absolute legends, all for joining us. So let's crack into it. As we maybe know, at the beginning of it, we always start with a bit of cold, hard facts. Palace are winless, everybody, in their last 12 matches versus Spurs, and only scoring 4 goals in those last 12 matches. I think that just shows, it's kind of similar stats to the Watford. It's just obviously a team that we do expect to win. Historically, we've expected to beat them, but I must say, it's now a new era with Patrick Vieira. It is a new era. Roy Hodgson before, very different team. I felt like they just probably will be almost entirely different to what they were last season, considering Patrick Vieira, I don't think is probably that similar to Roy Hodgson. So, it is kind of something that we have to take into account. Might be a bit of a new era for Crystal Palace, but Crystal Palace will be actually the first team to play 4 consecutive London derbies, David, to start off the campaign. Do you make anything of that? Is that kind of an interesting stat maybe to take off of, the fact that they've kind of had 4 very difficult games in London, rivalry games just to begin with?
Look, it's not an easy start to the season. Look, just quickly what you're alluding to there, Jack, is, look, they're changing from a Roy Hodgson system, which was rigid, hopefully catch teams on the counter and nick the 3 points, to a Patrick Vieira system where he's actually trying to play out from the back. He does try and mix it up now, and he's trying to get Palace to play a ball. And look, it's not an easy start for him. Four derbies in a trot. But look, hopefully the one against Chelsea, Brentford, and West Ham have took it out of them, and they come in tired, or just don't have as much fight left in them. They just want to get these dark London games out the way, and then start beating some teams. So hopefully, I think it will affect them, to be honest with you, because it's 4 games that not only physically but mentally as well,
Yeah,
because it does give you that extra bit sometimes, and mentally it can take it out of you as well. So I think it could be a problem for them. Yeah.
Yeah, I do agree there, Dave. I actually do agree. And only 4 teams, actually, Dave, if we were to win this game, only 4 teams in top flight history have ever begun their campaign with 4 wins and 4 clean sheets. I mean, if we were just to pull it off with another 1-0, I think that would just make it even better. Definitely be the first team to ever do that, which I will say is just nice and tidy. 4 very nervous, nerve-wracking games in a row. Who wouldn't love that as a Spurs fan? But David, I mean, that would be absolute history. Absolute history. Nuno's already made history with the way he started off his campaign, but what if he were able to pull this off?
Look, it'd be an amazing start to the season. I don't know how anyone can complain about it, even if we win 1-0. Look, if you looked at them fixtures at the start of the season, you would have said, okay, City, you'd probably take a loss there, first game under Nuno. Then you look at Wolves, that's a dodgy one. You know what I mean? We won there.
Away from home as well. Away from home at Wolves at the Molineux.
Yeah. Then you look at Watford, you say, okay, that's 3 points. You expect that. And now you take Palace. Look, Palace caught us sleeping last season at Selhurst. We were 1-0 up. The last 10 minutes, they went up and, they just attacked, got their goal. They sniffed it out. They got it and ended 1-1. So, look, for me, even if we do win 1-0, it shows that we are, progressing, because we're not conceding them goals. And 4 wins from 4, I think we will actually be the 3rd or the 2nd team in Premier League history. The other 2 were back in the 70s and the 60s, I think. So, look, it'll be very, very interesting. I want it to happen. I want it to happen because it gives us great confidence and momentum going into the next 2 proper London derbies.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, well said there, Dave. Well said there, Dave. Honestly, we shouldn't be complaining. We really shouldn't be. Dark Sun G, absolute legend, Dark Sun G. I think he really likes the stats of Jack, David, or he's just I think he's just, he's just like you now, Dave. He gets a little antsy, it's been a week, since Spurs have played, more than a week, excuse me. So I think he's just getting a little antsy like the rest of us. He's just can't wait for that 8:30 p.m. kickoff, like you said. So Dark Sun G, big yourself up, though. You're an absolute legend. We do appreciate the support as always, Dark Sun G. Really do appreciate you. You're an absolute legend to us. And he says, Man City are doomed, hopefully. They play Leicester, and they can't use Jesus and Ederson for 5 days. They have a 5-day ban, and looks like Zach Steffen is out with Corona as well. Looks like they're going to have to bring back in Claudio Bravo, or maybe that 45-year-old keeper, whoever they played in that one game as well. He didn't seem too great. Honestly, this is all good for Man City. I will say, Dark Sunji, I did have them in my Premier League prediction. I had a 1-1 draw with them in Leicester City. Let me know, Dark Sunji, if that sounds like a good prediction. I'm going to stick by it. I don't think Leicester City are going to pull off the win, but I definitely see them being the better team. So it's good to see, Dark Sunji. It's good to see Man City crumbling.
Look, they might have to recall Gavin Bazunu, Jack. I think he's out on loan. They might have to recall him and get him in. But no, it's good because, it helps with my Premier League predictions that I've done on Jack's flatcapeurotalk as well. I have Man City. I think it was Man City. I had fallen outside the top 4. I did predict a bit of a breakdown there this season. So Dark Sun G, it's good to see you thinking along the same lines, my man. Absolute legend, absolute legend. I did forget everybody to do the housekeeping, so make sure you do smash that like button. Absolutely crack it. I don't care what you do, just hit it, whether it's the thumbs up or a thumbs down. Doesn't matter. It all helps us out. You know, it's brilliant for the YouTube algorithm. 106 people watching right now, so I would like 106 likes. That would be very, very nice. As well, guys, you know, like Jack was saying, you know, if you're a bit impatient like me, look, you know, sometimes I'm standing there at a deli, I'm waiting for it to make my roll, and I can't. So next thing you look around, I'm actually inside the glass, you know, bathing in the food because I can't wait that. So if you're impatient like me, guys, you know, make sure you do get the super chat in. It helps skip the chat here when it does get flying, and it is a great way to support the channel as well. It's really, really appreciated. I can't stress that enough. So yeah, and make sure you smash the subscribe button if you're new and you're enjoying it. You know, and by the way, I want people to start spreading the word of the Irish Hotspur again. New season, new us. Spread the word. Tell everyone, you know, we're putting out some fantastic content here, and hopefully get some more subscribers in as well. So big up to Harris Army. That's over and out with the housekeeping today.
Yeah, Faz Ratfar here saying, do you agree that Palace may get relegated this season or close to relegated? I do think they'll get close to relegated, Faz, but I do believe in David and I's Premier League predictions, which everybody, again, head on over to flatcapeurotalk. It's in the description below. There seems to be a lot of Premier League prediction kind of questions here, so you might as well just head on over and check that video after this tonight, just so you can see where David and I, you know, have all the rest of the Premier League teams falling in the table. But I do have Palace, I think, finishing just outside relegation. I think my relegation teams were Watford, the Scum, and then one other. But yeah, I'm not gonna leak them. But Watford, and I think I'm actually forgetting Newcastle. I think I also had dropping down this season, and maybe just one other. But I'm not going to give you all three because I want you guys to check out that video because David's predictions are in there as well. So please, please, please check it out. Faz, I do have finishing outside relegation zone, but I could see them falling in it. What do you think, Dave?
I'll be honest with you. I think they'll do just fine. Look, tough start to the season. They've got some good players in there. Conor Gallagher, a very good player. Edouard would probably chip in with more goals for them this season than what Benteke has been able to offer. You know, Gueye at the back is a very, very good defender. I do think Palace will be all right. You know, I think they'll have enough to stay up. We're talking Eze still has to get into the team. Eze is still not in there yet. You know, so I do think they have more than enough tackling players to get the goals to stay in the league this year. So look, Faz, I think they'll be all right. I'd say give them another couple of weeks. You might be a bit surprised by them. You know.
Another thing as well, Faz, I will say Crystal Palace as like an outside shout. I thought actually in the Premier League had the best transfer window. Like if you kind of consider all the players they had to get rid of, they had the oldest squad I think in the Premier League at the time as well. Squad average age. The business they did over this summer was quite spectacular actually. So I will say. Crystal Palace, I don't see them falling in the relegation zone, just simply also because I really do rate their transfer window. I think they did fantastic work over there. But Faz, you know, it'd be interesting. If you were proven right, Faz, that would definitely be a good shout, a great shout, and we'd definitely be proven wrong. But Kev Williams here saying Spurs top and Arsenal bottom for another week. Interesting. It seems like Norwich, you know, are going to be getting that win. I will say I would be quite shocked if they were then drop points again to Norwich, but honestly, David, you know, let's just hope. Look,
Jack, you know, honestly, it just brings so much joy. You know, every time you read it, you know, you're just sitting there you're like, yes, it just brings a smile across your face. And I absolutely love it. You know, Kev, I'm so happy. Honestly, you know, I was actually on the stream with an Arsenal fan last week, and I was just winding them up. It was actually very, very good fun. I'll put the link up in the community section. You guys can go over and check it out. It was actually good crap. Had them wound up to the max. It was brilliant. It was great fun. So I definitely get you all to check that out. But big up, Kev Williams. Appreciate the support, my man. And we have 120 people in, so there is new faces in. So big up the new faces and the Harris Army. Big yourselves up. Hope you're enjoying it. But look, Jack, let's take it away. You know, I'm seeing he's getting frustrated here.
We're not moving at the pace he probably would want us to. So we'll get there. I'm saying, trust me, we'll get there. But current season form, Crystal Palace, obviously they drew their first game, I think, against Brentford, right? And their first game, I think, was, remind me, David, but there was a 0-0 draw. No, I think they lost. Their second game was a 3-0 loss to Chelsea. Their first game was a draw. And then their third game was a draw, I think, against West Ham. So it was a 2-2 West Ham. And I think it was a 0-0 with Brentford. Might have been their other game. But correct me if I'm wrong, everybody. Of course, you know, we're 3 wins off the bounce, you know, just the sexy boys. But Tottenham Hotspur against Crystal Palace. In total, we've had 32 wins, 15 draws, 12 losses. And last season, do remember, at Selhurst Park, we did have that Jeffrey Schlepp, kind of last minute, goal that we conceded. So please, it's not going to be as easy as we might think, at Selhurst Park, I will say. But with Nuno in charge, a different kind of aura, a different kind of team in general, I will say, we probably will have it in the bag. But remember, guys, Selhurst Park was not easy to play out for us last time.
Yeah, no, Jack, the Palace victories, the Palace ones there, they drew with Brentford 0-0, lost to Chelsea, I think it was 3-0, and they drew with West Ham 2-2, and then they did have a cup defeat to Watford 1-0 in there as well.
Yeah, thank you, David. Moving on to the Crystal Palace formations, everybody. They will be rocking possibly. It's hard to predict. It is hard to predict. We do anticipate they could be doing a 4-3-3 of some sort. This is what it would look like. Kouyaté would be that center defensive mid, holding it down with McCarthy and Gallagher as well. With Tyreek Mitchell on the left back position. Maybe Jordan Ayew might be playing a left wing with Benteke and Zaha up top. This is definitely what we've seen the majority of Crystal Palace be kind of doing this season. This is probably what they'll probably line up most often as, but it is also possible that they could line up in a 4-4-2, and this 4-4-2 would feature Jeffrey Schlepp, of course, the guy that I mentioned earlier. He would be playing as kind of a right mid, kind of workhorse going up and down, maybe helping out Joel Ward here, and then as well, Conor Gallagher might be playing then against in the midfield there instead of maybe Kouyaté, where maybe they might take out Kouyaté. And then Zaha would be playing on the left. And then this is possible with the 4-4-2, we would see Odsonne Edouard maybe play with Benteke. It's hard to imagine maybe them leaving out Benteke entirely, David. Maybe they will, but for me, it's just kind of hard to imagine that. But it is also possible you might see maybe an Edouard, Zaha, Ayew combination, but it is a bit hard to predict their front three.
Yeah, look, it's very hard. Look, I do think you might see Benteke start with Edouard coming off the bench, but this 4-4-2 is definitely an option. It's 100% an option, playing big two brutes up front with Edouard the legs. I did hear, interestingly enough, Vieira after the West Ham game, he was complaining about legs in the forward position, legs getting forward, breaking forward, especially in the first half of the game. So it's one to look out for, Benteke Edouard. It's one to look out for.
Yeah, definitely is one to look out for. But moving on, everybody, we will kind of go on to the key players here for Crystal Palace. Our first key player is going to be Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher, everybody, he's only played 2 games for them, but he's actually their only goal scorer so far in the Premier League, which must be said. He did score a brace against West Ham, and in that brace, he's kind of just roaming into the box, finding a bit of space and then just tapping away, the chances that he gave to himself. But for Crystal Palace so far, he already has the most shot creating actions, which basically means he has the most chances created. He has 7 chances created. He leads the Crystal Palace in that. He has the most shots on target as well with 4. He has the most tackles for his whole squad with 8. He has the most tackles in the attacking third as well for his team with 3. And then he's also tied for the most dribblers tackled at 2. So clearly, he's been the most creative in these last 2 games for them. He's been maybe one of the most productive in terms of like pressures, being kind of defensive, being a bit of a brute, you might say. He's been fantastic that way. And then also just his pressures in the attacking third. So to be honest, he's been playing maybe a bit similar to Dele Alli, you could say. I maybe would say Dele Alli should probably have more of those shot creating actions like Conor Gallagher does. But definitely he's been a very good kind of box to box workhorseman kind of midfielder that's also very creative.
Yeah, look, Jack, this guy, he's 2-footed. Well, not 2 foot, but he's very, very comfortable on both feet as well. And look, he's their engine going forward, getting back defensively, like you said, with Dele Alli, brilliant. And he loves a run into the box, especially when Palace get the ball and put it into the box. He's looking for scraps off Benteke the whole time. So that's definitely something we need to watch. Definitely
something we need to watch, I would definitely say. And Kev Williams here saying, this is better than Sky's stats. Love it, Jack. Love it. We're only getting into it, Kev. We're only getting into it. Believe me, we're only getting into it. And Kev, I do hope you enjoy it, as well as Zam Singh, as always. Do hope you're enjoying it. But Kev, absolute legend. And telling you, it's only getting better from here on out. But yeah, Conor Gallagher, everybody, our key player. He's just someone that is going to be maybe very focal to the attack, especially if he were to be left out, which I don't see happening. But if he were to be left out, I would say that would be a huge loss for them. I do think he's been basically their most creative player so far this season. Of course, Wilfried Zaha has been their most creative player for numerous seasons. But I think that's why Conor Gallagher has been brought into the team to take a bit of that load off of Wilfried Zaha. Also, to just be that kind of young, energetic midfielder that honestly Crystal Palace has lacked for a very long time. They have lacked that for a very long time. But anything else to say on Conor Gallagher, maybe apart from that two-footed kind of nature that you're talking about, David? I mean, he is definitely going to be an important player for them.
No, he's very important. Look, especially going forward. You know, they look to get the ball to him in midfield and then look to get it out wide from there, distribute out wide. And then this guy, he will not stop running, Jack. He is box to box, up and back. This guy is fit and he's a very, very tidy player. And we do have to, I think we nullify him. We nullify Palace, I'll be honest with you. I know they have Zaha, but when we get into a bit later on, I'll say why I think Zaha is not as much of a threat.
Yeah, definitely. And then moving on to our unsung hero is Mark Guehi. And this is the recent signing from Chelsea, everybody. He did sign, I think, for a decent fee. It wasn't cheap. I think it was close to around £20 million, if I'm not mistaken. So it was a fairly good fee. He was kind of an up-and-coming prospect of the Chelsea Academy, just one of those that, probably wasn't going to see first-team minutes for a long time. So Chelsea, offloaded him for probably pretty good fee, I will say. But he's been great for them. He's had the most touches and the most carries on the team. He's kind of been that center back that they definitely rely on and just holding on to the ball, maybe being smart in possession as well. He's very, very defensively, I would say, just reliable. He just seems like a very intelligent guy when it comes to the defending aspect of the game. He has the most carries into the final third for his squad with 7, which I thought was unbelievable for a center back to be having the most carries into the final third. I think that just shows he might be a bit tidier on the ball than maybe some probably give him credit for. I think that's what you can make from that as well. He just seems to be quite aggressive. But he has also the second most clearances in his squad with 11. He has the most passes completed, and he has the most medium distance passes completed. I think a big thing that must be said about Crystal Palace this season in terms of their center backs are young and they're very talented in the likes of Joachim Andersen and Mark Guehi here. I mean, there are definitely 2 center backs that probably weren't maybe the top of everyone's list, but I think Crystal Palace fans are absolutely they must be just adoring, the summer business that they had to see 2 very young center backs like this in their squad. It's very different from what we saw last season with Mamadou Sakho and who else was it? I think it was the likes of Kouyaté as well, plenty of times. Gary Cahill. I mean, talk about a revolution, everybody. This is why I had them as maybe one of the best transfer windows of the Premier League. It's just simply that transformation that they've had. So Mark Guehi, he came in for a big fee, but all I can say is he's definitely probably meeting that fee for a lot of Crystal Palace fans. He's looked apparently great for them.
Yeah, look, do you know what's interesting, Jack? This is a player. Guys, I don't know, I'll put this out there, but I actually forgot to put him into my scouting report. And, when Jack presented this, I was absolutely delighted. I was like, yes, what a pick, because I actually forgot to put him in. But no, this guy, out of all their defenders, I think he's definitely the best. He hasn't been found wanting. The other guy beside him, Joachim Andersen, has, but this guy hasn't. I really like him. And I think if Harry Kane is playing up front, he needs to be more on Joachim Andersen than this guy.
Yeah, and everybody, again, with Mark Guehi, he hasn't necessarily, topped everything in the defensive stats for his team. I think that's just because they rely on the midfield, to do a lot of the tackling. They probably don't want their center backs to be doing too much, of the last, ditch kind of tackling or, defensive actions. But in terms of possession, Crystal Palace's 2 center halves are very good in possession, I would say. Mark Guehi is very good in possession, as well as Joachim Andersen. So we must keep an eye out for that. But Mark Guehi, he's only played a few games for them so far, but I will say he's looked fantastic. And I think probably some Crystal Palace fans might be a bit surprised to see us, probably have that much of a in-depth scouting report on the team, by naming him as their unsung hero. But moving on, everybody, we are going to be talking about now, how do Crystal Palace attack? Where can they score? I don't really see them, I would say, facilitating a lot of chances against us. But, like always, we're just going to try to come up with plausible scenarios for how we might concede to Crystal Palace. And the first one is going to be Joachim Andersen long ball. I must say, everybody, Joachim Andersen, he's continuing off of the work from last season. He was one of the best long passing center backs in the league last season. His ability to ping a ball in behind or switch play was unbelievable, especially, I think, switching play, David. I think he had something like, it's like the 98th percentile in Europe's top 5 leagues or something for switching play last season. And he was playing for Fulham, let's remind you. So honestly, this guy is very, very, very good at the long ball, very good at pinging it in behind. He's actually a bit reckless, I would say, in other moments with the ball. He can be a bit, can kind of give it away in bad scenarios and can make mistakes. He's already made a defensive error, I believe, this season. But Joachim Andersen, in terms of the long ball, is very, very talented. So that's why for this one, everybody, we do have a bit of an animation, maybe just to show you what Andersen can do here with that long ball. So this is, just a bit of kind of Crystal Palace. They're kind of passing it around the back four. And then, Andersen, let's say he just looks up and sees, Benteke is, maybe going up against Moon Boots, probably, would, bet that Benteke has a good chance of maybe winning on the header against Moon Boots. Zaha, who's always going to be probably sitting very close to Benteke, for this kind of scenario right here, where Benteke just gives him a little knock on from an Andersen long ball to his head. I mean, David, does this seem like a plausible scenario? Andersen long ball to Benteke knockdown to Zaha?
Yeah, it's very plausible. Look, Vieira has a good mix of play. He is trying to play out from the back, but he does also have that long ball option when Palace can't play out from the back. And he does get it long to Benteke. And, look, with Benteke, even though he doesn't really do a lot with it, one thing he's very good at is getting up and holding up the play. He's a very strong boy. But another option is Andersen, straight in out to Zaha. So Reguilon will have to stay switched on as well. So, look, it's definitely something to keep an eye out for. But, Jack, just how would you counteract that? Would you put pressure as soon as Joachim Andersen gets the ball? Would you put pressure on him? Or would you, just block up kind of the spaces into Benteke? Would you get Dyer to come in behind and skip to sit in front so that he can't take it down? What would you do?
That's a really good question, David. I think what I might do is simply use kind of that press that we were using against City, where you really make it hard for them to play it through the middle or even play it over you. Because if we saw, the likes of Lucas, Sonny, and Bergwijn, they would stay really close to each other, in that midfield, so Andersen wouldn't be able to play it through the middle. And even if Andersen, tried to play it above them, he would have to probably, put a little bit more air underneath it, maybe loft it up a bit more, right? It's just making it a bit more difficult. So I would say is maybe just someone like Kane, Lucas, or Hill in this situation, they would just have to maybe put a bit of pressure there, or simply just kind of stand a bit in the way, David, because if they at least make him loft it up a bit more, where he has to maybe think about the pass a bit more, I think that already does enough, in plenty of scenarios. If you do make the, player have to think about it a bit more, it is always, a good way to defend. And that's what I would say, David, is just maybe be someone that can just at least stand in maybe the area of where he's trying to ping it. Don't let him, just kind of drive it or almost line drive it right, to Benteke, make him have to loft it, make it have to go around or curl it to Benteke, whatever it may be. That's all I would say. And as well, if they can, and they see Andersen maybe doing exactly what we saw, where Andersen kind of sets himself up here, to kind of drop back and be able to ping that ball, as we see here, it kind of steps back a bit so he can find that space. If maybe someone like Kane or Hill can see that, ahead of time, I think that would be the other way that they could probably stop it, David. But really good question.
But as well, just quickly, I just want to highlight something. So when Andersen pings this long ball, right, look at Benteke, right, with him drawing out Dyer to go and meet that, Tanganga is actually keeping Zaha on side. So that is something that he will have to be aware of, that if Dyer is pushing, I think, to go and try and win that ball, I'm thinking, Reguilon, Dyer and Emerson, they're going to have to keep that line sweet and probably move with him in order to try and catch Zaha offside there. Yeah,
and often the case too is, Crystal Palace will not put too many players forward, but it is just these scenarios where, let's say the flick on, from Benteke is perfect. Let's say, even we get a bit unlucky, let's say with the flick on, even, it takes a bad deflection. This is just, something that Crystal Palace will go to, it's a bit route one, but when you have somebody like Benteke and you have someone like Zaha playing next to him, I mean, it's pretty much what any manager would do. So, it is hard to defend against, especially against Benteke. But all I would say is, yeah, like you were saying, maybe make it a bit harder for Andersen, to play some of these passes. Maybe that might help us instead of maybe just relying on one of our defenders to have a great game against Benteke, because it is asking a lot of somebody, to, let's say, outwin Benteke with every aerial duel. That is asking a lot of a player. So maybe the solution to this is just maybe put a bit more pressure on Andersen. I totally agree.
Sure. For sure, 100%. Jack, we have a couple of super chats here. I just want to take this comment quickly.
No problem.
From Adam, and then we'll go back to Kev. Adam says, these animations are very good, lads. You can tell Jack has worked hard on these guys. Honestly, you have no idea how hard Jack has worked on these. You have no idea. They're not easy to put together, and they do take a while. And I would really like if everyone could get in and just if you are enjoying them, give Jack the appreciation. But look, Jacko, we do have a couple of super chats here. So, look, it's your show. So, look, take them away.
Kev Williams saying, talk of Winks possibly playing due to injuries. Yeah, all I will say, Kev Williams, is Skippy, supposedly it's not as bad as we thought it was. Supposedly it's not as bad as we thought it was. So I do think there's a strong chance he'll still be able to get back into the squad and maybe prevent, that horrible likelihood of Winksy coming into the squad. So all I can say is Skippy doesn't seem to be as injured as maybe we thought. That can be the only positivity I can add to it, Kev. But really do appreciate it as well, everyone. And I'm saying everyone do appreciate the support as always.
It's Kev Williams. I think it's Dan Kilpatrick reckons he's the one that reported. He reckons that Skip will be fine for Palace.
Also appreciate you, Adam. Really do appreciate you.
Yeah.
Appreciate all the support, Adam. Absolute legend. Dan N saying, fans sleep on Conor Gallagher. He's a superstar in the making. I would take him at Spurs all day. I'm having nightmares about him spinning wings. Yeah, Dan, all I could say, there are a lot of things to break down here. I do think he did have a bit of a kind of a sleeper season at the likes of West Brom. Maybe it was just those horrible kits where, we didn't really want to, watch them very much. That was probably why. But it is kind of, with Conor Gallagher, he is very much kind of a box-to-box kind of creative midfielder. He's very good at getting into the box, almost in kind of a Souček kind of way, not like, to win a header or anything, but he likes to be able to wander into the box at times, maybe when you wouldn't expect, somebody to, especially a central midfielder like him. But definitely do rate him. And I'm glad Dan N likes him, David. I am glad Dan N likes him. Definitely the Harris Army scouting team have seen this guy and have realized, he is a bit of a danger. Him spinning Winks is, a bit hard to imagine. I think it's more just him, taking the ball off Winks is what we probably would see. He has, like we said earlier, he has the most attacking he has the most pressures in the attacking third. He has the most tackles on Crystal Palace. He has the most dribblers tackled on Crystal Palace. I mean, the guy is very good at, taking the ball off somebody and putting pressure on somebody. So if Harry Winks is playing, we know Conor Gallagher is just going to be all over him.
Yeah, and look, Dan, I agree. I actually think this guy is going. I think he could go to the top in the next few years. I think he's very like Grealish. Probably, actually, I'd say a bit more industrial than Grealish, a bit more hardworking than Grealish. I actually really like him. Look, I had to sit through 3 Palace games there the other morning. You know what I mean? Just kind of watch, see what they do and everything else. And look, trust me, this guy's the main man, not Will Zaha anymore. This guy's the main man. Look, with Will Zaha, since he's been told to stay out on the wing, he's actually been pretty non-existent, to be honest with you. But everything is coming through this guy. Even the defensive work, it's this guy. This guy is their man. And we nullify him, we nullify Palace. It's that simple. And he's definitely one, if I was at Tottenham, I'd be keeping an eye on for sure. Big up, Dan, and really appreciate the support, man. You're a top man. And then, Jack, I'll let you say this because I know you love this name.
Benedict Hampus, absolute legend, Mr. Hampus. And he says, you've got a great tactical minds, lad. Absolute fire. Really appreciate it, Benedict. Really appreciate it, Benedict. That's great vibes. It's great vibes, I would say. And do appreciate it, Benedict, as well. Dan N, to Dark Sun G, as always, of course, Dark Sun G. Kev Williams, absolutely love you guys. Appreciate all the support. Really do appreciate the support. And I am glad that you guys are enjoying it as well. But Benedict, good to see you. Good to have you. Hope you're enjoying it. Yeah,
I appreciate it, Benedict. Look, all we do is try our best. I hope people do enjoy this. We just want to try and do something a bit different, bring Sky Sports to YouTube. So I hope people are enjoying it. But look, Jacko, let's crack on.
Yep, the next one here. I know the last one was a bit of a Christian Benteke knockdown, but we almost have to kind of re-emphasize it where that's basically going to be a very likely way that they could score. The last one, right, was a Joachim Andersen long ball into Christian Benteke, which he knocked down to Zaha. This one is going to be a bit similar, but it will be Christian Benteke knocking it down and holding it up so that Zaha can get a nice goal here. I don't see it happening, but if, again, we had to come up with a way for Crystal Palace to score, this is definitely one plausible way you could see it happening. So in this scenario, Kouyaté and Andersen. Kouyaté, by the way, will be always dropping deep into that, kind of center back position, just to link up play for them. So this is just, again, a scenario where they kind of play it a bit through the middle through Conor Gallagher here. Conor Gallagher will play it into Benteke in the air, probably some kind of awkward pass to him just to hold up. Benteke from there is able to knock it on a Zaha. Zaha one-on-one with Reguilon. Unfortunately, in this scenario, it did pain me, especially, seeing Reguilon have to make animations, David, of your own players, getting skinned is, not too nice. So we'll say it doesn't make you feel too good. So in this scenario, it's another knockdown of Zaha. Zaha is able to kind of just, take it back outside and kind of just cut in and be able to put it past Lloris. Let's say in this scenario, actually, Lloris just puts out world-class save, lets the boys know they got to stay focused. But again, another scenario where Christian Benteke is knocking it down to Zaha. I do believe Zaha will be playing very close to the likes of Benteke for this game. He always is going to be, playing right off of him for these kind of knockdowns or this kind of link-up play. They do heavily rely on each other, you might say. They do heavily rely on each other. Instead of it coming from Anderson, though, this time, kind of the long ball or kind of the pass into Kouyaté is coming from Gallagher. Gallagher and McCarthy, they do like to move the ball up midfield quite slowly, but they are pretty decent at kind of developing play in the midfield. So in this scenario, it's just kind of a sped up version, I would say, of kind of them just working it in the midfield and then Conor Gallagher playing something into Benteke, who knocks it down to Zaha. What do you think, Dave?
Yeah, look, it's very plausible. It's another way that we've seen Palace try to attack. One thing I will say is when Conor Gallagher does play that ball into Benteke, he won't stand still, because if someone does try and get in and dislodge the ball from him, he will be there to pick up that breaking ball. I just think it's very crucial that Dele, because he will be. Look, Conor Gallagher, he does play on the right side of their tree. Dele plays on the left side of our tree, so Dele will have to get back. It's very important he gets back.
Good point.
But yeah, no, look, with the Benteke-Zaha link-up, Jack, it's something we've seen over the years. Ball goes in Benteke. Zaha's always buzzing around him, looking for scraps, looking for flick-ons and whatever else. So Reguilon is going to have to stay switched on. But with Zaha, the thing is, you don't know what wing he's going to be on. He could end up switching and being on Emerson. That's worth to note as well, because he's played on the right, he's played on the left this season already. So it is worth to note that whoever Zaha is up against, they will have to stay switched on. But look, he hasn't been great of late, so hopefully, he can stay playing bad for another game, Jack.
No, I think that's a good point, David. He's been very, fluid in terms of his wing play this season. He's kind of just been rotating everywhere, but he's definitely kind of kicked off a little slow, I would say, Wilfried Zaha for sure. But it'd be nice if he could continue that. Sorry, Dave. Yeah.
Yeah, no, sorry, just a couple of mentions. We have Agley in the comments. Big up, Ellie. Hope things are well. Hope things are good with you. And we also have We Are Tottenham TV. I presume that's Benji. I presume that's Ben. Big up, Ben. I hope things are well. He says, will Reguilon ever tackle Zaha?
No, Ben or Sim, whoever it may be. I'll just say it does pain me every time to do some of these animations, just to see Reguilon, to make your own player get skinned by someone like Zaha, especially. It doesn't make you feel good. But I will say, definitely, in terms of the animation skills I've ever made before, this is probably one I am a bit more proud of. But it's a bit unfortunate that I kind of had it come through Zaha instead of maybe someone like Brian Hill or Lucas or whatnot, But yeah, it is, this scenario where we are going to have to watch on repeat maybe just one more time of Reguilon maybe missing this tackle every single time. But yeah, really big up Aglaya, big up Ellie, big up We Are Tom TV. Really do appreciate you guys for tuning in.
Yeah, 100%. Big yourselves up. Really appreciate it. Guys, everyone keep smashing that like button. Keep getting the super chats in to help support the channel and keep subscribing as well. I'm seeing has a question here for you, Jack. Look, he's kind of, he's got a bit of his fill now, so he can relax a little now. He's getting the stats in. He's loving it. But he says, Jack, based on your system, are Stevie and Son out?
Stevie, we just saw, a gargantuan sized, ice block, put on his ankle. So it's hard to know. It's hard to know. A lot have said, had to do with that injury that he's had picked up a long time ago, that, it's just, the swelling that can always happen, after playing. But it's hard to know. For me, I'd like to see Brian Hill start this game. So it's kind of just a bit selfish of me to do it, but I'm having Brian Hill start off the left, and then I'm having Lucas. Lucas has been, he didn't travel, he's been there maybe to welcome Emerson as well. So it kind of could make sense if Emerson were to play to see Lucas and Emerson maybe playing together, considering, of course, they probably have a bit of that relationship already. And again, I think Lucas deserves to play because I don't think Stevie B was too great last time out. I think actually Lucas made a much better show of things against the likes of Watford. So I'd like to see Lucas play. And then you're then picking between Stevie B and Brian Hill. And personally, I just went with Brian Hill out of just kind of selfishness.
No, happy days. And look, take it away again, Jacko.
No problem. This one is going to be a Conor Gallagher goal, everybody. And it's a bit odd to do this one because Conor Gallagher, again, he's the only one that's actually scored for Crystal Palace in the Premier League. So it must be said that maybe it is important, to have an animation for how Conor Gallagher might score. With how he'll score, he'll be kind of similar to how he scored his brace in West Ham. He'll be kind of wandering into the box, making a late run, and then maybe there'll be a loose ball, a knockdown again from Benteke or some sort that will be able to get him that goal. In this scenario, it is going to be kind of just a mess in the box kind of scenario where they're able to push it down the wings here with Tyreek Mitchell and Ayew. Ayew's kind of holding up Emerson here. It's a bit of, possession play on the wings. Mitchell comes in, puts in a ball to Benteke. Benteke wins it over Moon Boots, who doesn't know where he is. He knocks it down to Gallagher, who, let's say, just probably, throws a flinging foot, or a leg, at the ball to try to tap it in past Lloris. This is a scenario where they would probably be, taking it out wide and putting it into Benteke, which is very, very, very likely for them to do. It's, it's not something that is, I would say something that Crystal Palace would, sniff their noses at, doing this type of play. They definitely will be happy to, maybe score a goal this way. But again, this is kind of something where Conor Gallagher is going to make these kind of late runs into the box, these kind of drifting runs into the box. And Benteke, again, is going to be that guy that's probably going to create something for them, David. I will say, as much as Benteke isn't maybe the most glamorous player to watch in the world, he is definitely someone that they all need and rely on to just set up goals, cause a bit of chaos, make defenders think about someone else. And then in this scenario, it's just Benteke again, making it a bit difficult for our defenders in the air. And he just is able to knock it down to Gallagher this time. He makes a late run into the box.
Yeah, look, he's done it twice against West Ham, got his 2 goals. And one thing I will say, if when he is in the box, I don't want to see Moon Boots diving in, because this guy, he can play with 2 feet. He's comfortable with both feet, like I already mentioned. One of his goals against West Ham, he used both feet to score it, and he looked very comfortable. So, look, we just have to keep an eye on this, and this is why I was saying it's crucial that Delhi, either tracks Conor Gallagher or passes him on, doesn't just let him wander across Skip. Let Skip know he's coming, or let Højbjerg know, you know what I mean? Because this guy, he will make the late runs. And like you said, Jack, look, they put the ball into the box, and it's just like a massacre in there. It's just put the ball in there, let Benteke, it's like WWE, SummerSlam. Let him, throw a few people out, Royal Rumble, let him throw a few people out the ring, and then off you go, Gallagher, put it in the back of the net. So, I don't want to see this happening. I want to see.
No, I don't. I certainly don't. And it's a bit of a scrappy one as well. But again, it's a bit Route 1, for Crystal Palace, and it will be, especially considering we are a very tough defensive team, and this would be probably a huge test. As much as Benteke isn't, on the list of world-class forwards, he certainly is on the list of very difficult forwards to deal with because he's very difficult to deal with in the air. He's one of the best. He's always been one of the best in Europe's top 5 leagues in that regard. So he always will be tough to deal with, I would say. But everybody, Conor Gallagher, again, he's the only one that's scored for Crystal Palace so far in the Premier League. So we do have to, include some sort of animation for how we think he might score. He's been also the most creative for them. Again, he was our key player. He had the most shot-creating actions for Crystal Palace. So it is someone that we're going to have to keep an eye on, an absolute key player for them. But moving on, this is going to be a bit of a quick animation. We don't have to go too much into it, but let's say we got everything wrong, David. It isn't the 4-3-3 that, Crystal Palace are running. Let's say they run that 4-4-2 with maybe Odsonne Edouard or someone else up top. So we are just going to have a quick animation for that, just in case, we don't get anything wrong, David, because, we do like to cover all angles. In this scenario, again, it's just a 4-4-2, Gallagher and McCarthy there. And Edouard is playing up top alongside Benteke in this scenario. Just a bit of, kind of nice link-up play, I would say, again, for Crystal Palace. And again, I will say, it's very painful for me sometimes to make some of these, against our boys, but it's just kind of midfield working, David. You even have said this before, and I'd like you to touch on this, but Gallagher and McCarthy, they're very good at, developing play just amongst them two in the midfield. They don't really use Kouyaté to develop the play. Even if it is a 4-3-3, they kind of are able to work it up the field themselves, McCarthy and Gallagher. So this is just a scenario where if it were just them two in that 4-4-2 midfield, this is how I could see them maybe linking up play.
Yeah, look, when it comes to McCarthy and Gallagher, look, they will be the ones allowed to get forward. And between the two of them, look, they're very comfortable on the ball. They'll work up between the fullbacks and the wingers. They don't need anyone else between them. They're technicians in the engine room there for Palace in midfield, I have to say. And look, when you have Benteke and you have Edouard, who may I add is also actually a big boy. I watched him for Celtic. He's a big boy, but he has pace. So it's going to be a very, very tricky front two to handle if Palace do decide to put them together. It's going to be very, very tricky to handle because one will be occupied by Tanganga will be occupied by one and Dyer occupied with the other. So, the two of them, they can't afford to have any mistakes there, to be honest with you. But with McArthur and Gallagher, even if they do play the three in the midfield, Jack, Kouyaté just sits. He does not get forward. And, Gallagher will break on the right. McCarthy will break down on the left. But with Gallagher more advancing into the middle, with McCarthy more or less coming out wide. He loves to get out wide and float in balls as well. So it'll be very, very interesting to see how we cope with this midfield battle because, look, Kouyaté, he will break up plays, a bit like Ollie Skip. Look, Højbjerg should absolutely demolish McCarthy. He should be eating him. He should be putting him in the middle of a subway roll and demolishing him. And then you have, Dele Alli the other side. Based on previous performance, I actually do have faith that Dele Alli will track the runs. So like I'm saying, you take Gallagher out of the game, I think you take Palace out. The only other way to have of switching it up is going with this 4-4-2, which will be difficult to handle. But in midfield, we should eat them alive because they'll be outnumbered.
Yeah, definitely, Dave. Definitely, Dave. And as well, everybody, Gallagher and McCarthy, they're not maybe the two most glamorous midfielders in the world, but I don't think a lot of these players should be sniffed at on Crystal Palace. And as well, the 4-4-2, if the 4-4-2 were to happen, it probably would be something like an Edouard and Benteke up top. But this is how we see it happening with that 4-4-2. I just want to show you in case we got the formations for them wrong. The pinball wizard, absolutely old soul. Absolutely. It's even the way I sometimes play FIFA, I must admit. But moving on, everybody, I do think we're going to be done now with Crystal Palace attacking, and we're just going to quickly move on to how they defend, actually, Crystal Palace, the way they set up in their defense. In their defense, everybody, they will be doing kind of a very stubborn 4-3-3, almost like a 4-5-1, probably the way they might sit sometimes, where that 4-3-3 could turn into a 4-5-1. In this scenario, it's basically just looking at Spurs here. We're just trying to keep possession. We're trying to build that play, but they're making it very difficult for us. And David, what I would say about Crystal Palace is, while they might press in certain aspects, they're definitely going to make it more kind of like what we even do, kind of traps or, kind of scenarios where they just would let you come to them instead of, the defense coming to you in the attack. So I would say they probably won't press us too high up the field, but they'll definitely make it very difficult for us to be able to play out the back like we are here. I don't think they would want us to be able to just dominate the ball in their own midfield or in their own side of the pitch. I don't think they would like that. I think this is a scenario where this is probably the most ideal way that they would defend against us, where they do have us kind of pressed in our own half a little bit, maybe making us have to make a bit more kind of reckless decisions or passes here, like Dele here losing the ball, trying to play in Kane. Again, Dele, despite how great Dele's been this season, he is still our most dispossessed player. So it is someone that is likely to lose it in a bad position, Dele Alli. So in this scenario, that's what I kind of have here, where McCarthy just takes it off him. But David, how do you see maybe Crystal Palace being a very stubborn defense? Obviously, with the 4-4-2, plenty of people know a 4-4-2 can be a very, very good stubborn formation. But as well, the 4-3-3 can turn into something like a 4-5-1 and be very stubborn that way. How do you see, Crystal Palace frustrating us?
Yeah, look, with Kouyaté, he protects that back to the two centre backs all day long, and if you give him a sniff of attacking, he will crunch you. He's very good in midfield. He breaks up the play. With McArthur, look, with this guy, if you can turn the ball over when they're higher up the field on the ball, it's very, very easy to get at their back four. What I would be doing is, instead of allowing them to sit back and get back into that tight 4-5-1 that they like to sit in, if you turn the ball over up higher up the field, what I would like to see is Spurs pinging a long ball over, get Harry Kane on Anderson, he's the weak link, and play off that. And that way you're in behind that midfield. McArthur, he's not very quick to get back, Jack. He's not very quick to get back. But Conor Gallagher, he's the one. He gives them all the legs in midfield. He gives them a lot of legs, a lot of energy in midfield, and he will look to disrupt things. But apart from that, they don't really pressure. They're happy to let you have the ball and then break on you. It's what they've made, established themselves in the Premier League doing. So they're very, very comfortable letting you having the ball, blocking up the spaces, blocking up the passing lanes, and just letting you pass it side to side, wait for you to have a lapse in concentration or mistake and break. And that's the last thing we want tomorrow. But look, we're comfortable to do the same thing. So what I would like, instead of letting them get back, is taking the ball off them quickly. You have the big man up front who loves to take the ball in and get it down. So get it long into him first time. Get him to take it down. Have your wingers running off him. Dele Alli breaking forward. And you're already in behind that midfield. And then it shouldn't be too easy to break them down.
That was really well said, David, I will say, especially in the likes of Harry Kane. How do we get around it? And that's how I see it happening. It's just maybe sometimes we have to realize that, we need to put in, a ball into Harry Kane, similar to even how Crystal Palace would do it with Benteke. We need to rely on Kane, to be a bit of, how do you say it, Dave, like an outlet, right, for us, someone that can just simply relieve the pressure for us. Absolutely. But everybody, Jack trying to get a roll on Nuno's stuff. Absolutely. I will say, once Dark Sun G is hired, I'm saying hopefully Dark Sun G will come calling to me, to partner him over there. So I will, absolutely. I'm saying really do appreciate it, though. Really do appreciate it. But that is, I think, the last of it, on Crystal Palace. So, I think we kind of breezed through it a little bit. We didn't want to, maybe big them up too much, considering they've only had, I would say 2 points after 3 games. You might say, actually, they've defended quite well probably this season. It's just more or less the attacking has been very, very, very kind of weak for them. And so they've only scored 2 goals so far this Premier League season out of 3 games. So everybody, it's more like, how do you say it? The defense has been very stubborn and has been very solid for them, but maybe the attack hasn't really maybe found its footing yet. David, would you say that?
I would say that. I would say that. Look, defensively, they have been fairly solid enough. I still think that right back and Joe Ward and Anderson, I still think they're the weak links, and you could get at them. But I do think once they find their legs going forward, Jack, I think they'll just do fine in the Premier League. Look, you have Benteke and Nuisance, you have Edouard, you have the option of going 4-4-2 or like they have been playing 4-3-3. You have the option to take Benteke off, bring Edouard in, or vice versa. You have some pretty neat wingers there. You still have Eze to get in the team. I think they'll do just fine this year, Palace. Definitely. And everybody, now we're going to be moving on to our key battles. This is kind of maybe an emphasis on, which players we think, Spurs should target, and also, areas that maybe Crystal Palace players might be targeting at us. And I think the big one is just going to be a huge midfield battle between, if it is a 4-3-3 versus a 4-3-3 of some sorts, this would be kind of the midfield battle. And I would say, like always, we do definitely match up with a lot of teams in the physical battle of things. But it is going to be the creativity that we're going to need, especially considering that these 3 for Crystal Palace are going to be very, very, very stubborn defensively. They're going to be very good defensively as well. Conor Gallagher is going to be the legs for them going up and down the pitch as well as defending. And then Kouyaté is going to be a bit of that destroyer. So it is going to be a bit of a struggle for us. I think Dele Alli is really going to be someone that we're going to have to rely on for that creativity. Højbjerg, last game against Watford, he was Højbjerginho. If he were to continue any of that from last game, I see us definitely doing quite well. But it is going to be a huge step up, I think, for Dele Alli, because he's going to be going up against Conor Gallagher here, David. Yeah. No, look, it's more so believe it or not, I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's actually more so the defensive side of the game I'm worried about Dele Alli, because look, do you know what, Jack? Even if he switched Dele to the right-hand side of that tree for this game, put Højbjerg over the left-hand side and let him deal with Conor Gallagher, and that means you can have Dele Alli up against McArthur. And again, he's just going to roast them all day long. Look, McArthur doesn't have the legs that Dele Alli has, so Dele Alli can actually leave him for dust and run him ragged. So that could be a switch now that I'm just after thinking about it. You could end up doing that, but if Dele Alli is up against Conor Gallagher, I just hope he keeps doing what he's been doing the last few weeks and getting back, breaking up play, helping Dyer out, and Reguilon out. That's what I hope. Look, apart from that, Skip and Højbjerg, I have confidence they're going to eat the likes of Kouyaté and McArthur. Honestly, I really do. I think it's going to be an eagle sandwich tomorrow for them boys, or on Saturday for Skip and Højbjerg. 2 of them be coming in either end of the sandwich till the meat in the middle. Absolutely loving the job they're after doing. And but it is the key battle, Jack. This one for me, if we win this midfield battle, we win the game. It's that simple. It is that simple, because you have to take the Palace midfield out. The last thing we want to do, like we did at Selhurst last year, is give them a sense or a sniff that there's a goal there for them. Because otherwise that midfield tree will just turn. They will just end up mucking in, chasing us down, breaking ball up and everything else. So the last thing we want to do is give them any sort of sniff that there's a goal there for them.
Definitely. Really well said there, David. Really well said. And I think that was actually a good solution there, maybe moving Højbjerg, over to Conor Gallagher's side. But Dan N here, I wish you good luck with the misses. Hopefully you go to the nice place maybe for tonight. It's a Thursday night out, Dan. So maybe, it's not too expensive, but maybe you're also just avoiding the crowds of Friday night. But let me know, Dan. Let me know. And do hope you're treating out the misses well.
Cheap steak night. Thursday night's cheap steak nights, Jack.
Absolutely. But Dan, big yourself up. Hope you enjoy your dinner, Dan, and everyone else. Wish Dan a good dinner with the missus. Always very important to have the dinner with the missus, especially at one point per week. Go out, enjoy yourselves. Maybe don't think about Spurs. Just take your mind off of things. I think David definitely knows that. But the other key battles is going to be are kind of, what we've been highlighting the whole time in the animations, David. It is going to be Benteke, versus our two center backs in Jaffet and Eric Dyer, or it could be someone else alongside Eric Dyer possibly, but it is going to be Benteke versus our center backs. Benteke, again, he's not the most beautiful player in the world with the ball at his feet, but he's certainly a very, very powerful and majestic player in the air. So we're going to have to realize that he is going to win plenty of knockdowns, as much as, maybe Moon Boots has potentially improved his aerial ability. I feel like David, it's not asking too much, or, how do you say this? It's really hard to ask, players to be able to win a header over Benteke every time. The guy is designed, it's almost like he's made in a factory, to win aerial duels, this guy. So I really do think, we're going to have to concede that, there will be plenty of scary moments with the Benteke knockdowns, and it's just how will they be able to cope with it?
Yeah, look, for me, Benteke I describe as a concrete wall, right? Absolutely solid, Jack. You run into it, you'll bounce off it, right? But so will the ball. The ball will also bounce off him. The only thing this guy is good at is getting flick-ons and headers and just absolutely just being a nuisance. It's like a bull in a china shop, Jack. You wave a red flag and let it run about. You know what I mean? Look, with Dyer, right, I'm not expecting him to win every single aerial duel. In fact, I'm not even expecting him to win half of them. It's hard when you have a big man like that. But whatever you do, just don't get pinned every single time. Because if Dyer gets pinned, he's caught flat-footed, he's right up Benteke's hole, and he's leaving space for the flick on and the running behind him. If he's not going to win that header, and he knows Benteke, it's at a height where Benteke can't just chest it down, he's going to have to jump and flick on. But then use your IQ and drop back a few steps, anticipate what he's already going to do.
Right.
Oh, and that's what I would like to see with Tanganga. I think this one could be interesting, I do. Look, if I'm Benteke, I'm putting myself on Eric Dyer and not Tanganga. You look at what Tanganga, the way he started off this season, Jack, right? He's about 200 million in his arse pocket. He's the richest man in London right now. And he's just like, look, he's earned the name manhandler. We don't call him manhandler for no reason. But with Eric Dyer and your Benteke, you're maybe looking at some of Eric Dyer's reels, especially Fulham last year where Carvalho, 5'5", Oompa Loompa out-jumped him. Yeah. That's what you're fancying. So Dyer has to be. I just want to see him use his football IQ. I don't care. Go and read Maldini's latest book, Nesta's latest book. I don't care. Go and read one of theirs and just find out why they were so good at defending and very rarely got caught. If you're not going to win the header, drop back and prevent the flick on. That's what I want.
Yep. Well said, David. And as well, I do hope that, Eric Dyer can just realize, there are going to be some that he's not going to win. And like you said, David, just don't get caught flat-footed. Don't get caught pinned there. And, let him just make the easy flick on that we all know he's going to do as well. David said it well. If we make Benteke play with his feet, maybe that's going to, help us. If we, allow him to play with his head, play with his physical attributes, we are going to get hurt. But moving on, everybody, that is going to be our two key battles. Let us remind you again, it is going to be the Spurs midfield against the Crystal Palace midfield, of course, especially if it's 2 4-3-3s lining up against each other. But also Christian Benteke against our center backs is going to be another huge key battle that everybody's going to have to look at, when watching the game. But players to target. Now moving on to maybe a bit more the things that we like to see, David, right? The things that, how can Spurs win? And these are our three players to target, David. Tyreek Mitchell, the left back. He definitely, the fullbacks for Crystal Palace, they don't like to get too far forward. But if I'm not mistaken, I do think Mitchell is going to be the one that will probably try to get forward at times, and he could definitely get caught out. He's going to be coming up against, maybe the likes of Lucas probably on the right wing, maybe especially if Emerson is going to be making a debut. Emerson is going to be fully up for it. Tyreek Mitchell, I think, is someone we're just going to have to try to take advantage of, David.
Yeah, look, a few things I've seen with this guy. Look, he's fast, he's quick, he can recover. and that his pace probably does get him out of a bit more trouble than what he should be put in. But this guy does get done by the same move. And one move I've seen this guy constantly get done by, Jack, is it's where you have two players down his side. Whoever's on the ball out wing passes it inside, runs in behind, and they just put the ball in behind them. A bit like what happened with Doherty against Arsenal last season. That's all we have to do to this guy, and he's took out the game. It's that simple. I can't say any more than that.
No, well said, David. No, just have to give him the same move as well. We all know Lucas is fully capable of skinning any man alive at this stage, especially with how good he's been with the Techers. So honestly, Tyreek Mitchell, you're going to be up for one. You're going to be absolutely up for one. Joachim Anderson, again, someone that, we kind of praised for his long ball ability, his passing ability, but he's already made kind of a big defensive error this season. He's actually not maybe been the most defensively solid. If you were to choose between him and his partner, Mark Guehi, if we were to pick any of the center backs, which one to pick on, it definitely would be Joachim Anderson.
Jack, look, I've seen two teams out of the three already just pin their striker pin themselves on this guy and get a lot of joy off him. One was Brentford's Ivan Toney, whether it was putting set pieces on top of Joaquin Anderson's head and letting Ivan Toney attack them, or whether it was getting, the ball into Ivan Toney and letting him hold off Joaquin Anderson and bring people into play. They got plenty of joy off him. Funny enough, so did West Ham. Mikel Antonio didn't go near Guay, just stuck on Joaquin Anderson and caused him a nightmare for 90 minutes long. From the first minute to the 90, just held him off, bullied him, either took the ball in and bet him with his pace or took the ball in, played other people, and then went straight in behind him with his pace. He's the guy you're going to get joy off at centre-back tomorrow, not the other guy, this guy.
Absolutely. Well said, David. Well said. Again, like he said, everybody's been pinning themselves against Joachim Anderson. He seems to be the one they like to take advantage of. If you were to take advantage of any of the center backs, it would be him. Mark Guehi does seem to be the one that is a bit more defensively solid. Jordan Ayew, quickly, the reason I just put him in players to target, he's the most dispossessed player, I think, for Crystal Palace. He's more of the workhorseman, you might say, for the front three. But again, I really don't rate Jordan Ayew. I don't really rate him as a footballer. That probably is the kiss of death, though, considering tomorrow. But Jordan Ayew, it's just somebody I would say could probably lose it in a bad position, David. Isn't maybe the best with even the ball at his feet at times, can be a bit slow on the ball, maybe not even very decisive. So Jordan Ayew, I would just say, is someone that we definitely should be bullying. Yeah,
he's just shit as well. I don't rate him, I'll be honest with you. I never have done. So, yeah, he's definitely the worst out of the front three, I'd say, anyway.
Yeah, Dave, absolutely.
And moving on. If Jack says he's the most dispossessed, it's true. So...
Definitely. I mean, he has, I think, also the most dribbles, though, which maybe should be said. But yeah, definitely somebody that is not too great, I would say, or maybe consistent as maybe being kinder to him. How can Spurs now win this game, everybody? Finally, we're able to move on to it. Like always with Stats with Jack, we kind of have to eat the vegetables first, eat the spinach and, have to talk about how the other team can hurt us. But now we can talk about how we can hurt the other team now. And our key player for this game is going to be Dele Alli. I feel like, last game against Watford, we, for the Stats with Jack, we kind of wanted him to be our key player. We kind of wanted him to be even maybe our unsung hero, but we wanted to wait, just a little bit longer to see if he had another good performance. And so far, guys, he's been absolutely immense defensively for us. Dele Alli has the most pressures on our team with 73. He has the most blocks on our team with 14. He has the most passes blocked on our team with 11, which I think is a fantastic stat, which really just shows, David, he's actually putting himself in the lanes. He's putting out a foot. He's able to just make it difficult. He's not just being kind of a Harry Winks and just being a body in there. You know what I mean? He's actually trying to do some, active things in the midfield to win the ball back or make it more difficult for the passing lanes of the other team. But also he has tied in terms of creative ability. He's now tied for the most passes into the penalty area for our team. I'd like to see that, go up a bit more. I think his creative ability needs to improve, but again, it's still good to see that. I think that's a great stat. So great, big ups to Del. And then also he's tied for the second most progressive carries, which personally, if you were to take a stat, for me, that's my favorite stat. It is progressive carries. It's a stat I love. It's the ability to carry the ball up the field, like more than 10 yards, I think it's more than 5 yards, the ability to carry up the field. So it's just a very important stat. And so far he's had 11 carries this season, and he's tied for the second most progressive carries on our team. Might be Bergfine. I think that is leading in it, or Højbjerg actually might be the one leading in it, surprisingly. But absolutely, Dele Alli key player for us. And I think the reason why he needs to be a key player is just so I really need to see his creative numbers maybe improve this game. I'd like to see him put in a bit more of a shift, and maybe creating stuff for our team and not as much in the defensive aspect.
Yeah, look, do you know what? I'm actually very surprised that they tied for most passes into the penalty area. I'm very surprised at that one, to be honest with you. Look, what I want to see more from Dele is, Jack, is just cutting out these flicks. If he cut out the flicks, he'd be doing very well. But I agree. Look, I want to see more creation from Dele Alli. But look, he does have that great goal against Palace where he done the solo over the player and then, over the player's head and rifled it with a volley into the net. So who knows, this could be the game where he explodes into life. I'm actually going to predict, I think he scores against Palace, I think he does. I think this could be hopefully the rebirth of Bob Marley.
Yeah, definitely, David. Definitely, David. They are saying, David, they have been saying, a few have been saying, Dele loves a good goal against Palace. So let's hope it happens. Let's hope it happens. But yeah, Dele Alli, would love to see him improve maybe the creative numbers for this game, though. But he's been absolutely immense for us defensively. That must be said. He leads in plenty of aspects and defensive numbers for us. But moving on to our unsung hero, it is going to be Pierre, the General, the Hojbjerginho. He has the most progressive carries on our team. Again, Dele Alli had 11. Hojbjerg has 15. Hojbjerg is even, plays a bit deeper lying role as well, David. I mean, he's been absolutely immense so far this season. We're seeing maybe possibly that Denmark, Euros Hojbjerg that we were watching. That was just unbelievable to watch. And I feel like we're, kind of actually being witness to it here this season. And I would love to see as much of it as we can. But he's also tied for the most carries into the final third, which was a fantastic stat as well. He has 5. I think he's tied with Bergwijn with that, which just shows, David. I mean, imagine being tied with Bergwijn. Imagine being just someone of his position, with the most carries into the final third. It's just he's been everywhere for us. And then he also has the second most dribbles completed. He's skinned the second most players on our team, David, with 4. But David, in terms of maybe just there, Hojbjerg, he's been unbelievable just carrying the ball up the field this season.
Jack, look, we've seen it in Denmark at the Euros. We asked for it to happen at Tottenham. Skip coming in and holding that midfield has allowed him to be able to do that role, getting further forward. And that's why you're seeing them stats, Jack. Most progressive carries, and the likes. You have the most progressive carries, tied for most progressive carries into the final third, second most dribbles. Absolutely brilliant stats. And look, it's what we want from the guy. We've asked him to be allowed to get further forward. He clearly has the capability. We knew that. Anyone that done the homework knew that anyway, because you would have seen the way he played at Bayern when he was breaking into the team. He was playing further forward. And look, Hojbjerg also has a nice shot on him, Jack. And look, I'll be honest, I was raging. I liked when he scored against Liverpool last year, but I was raging because we were losing. I want him to get one where we win and I can just absolutely revel in the glory. But look, we had to take that down for a minute or two because I know Ellie should probably be getting a bit hot under the collar, with a picture of Hojbjerg, on the screen like that. We can't be doing that. But no, look, absolutely love it. But no, look, Hojbjerg, I think he's been brilliant going forward, Jack. And look, but what I'm most impressed with is it hasn't taken away from his defensive duties and his defensive work. So all of a sudden, he's become an all-round box-to-box midfielder rather than just a specialist holding midfielder. Yeah. So I think he's been absolutely brilliant.
No, I think it is actually. That is a great point there, David. We actually, we used to say he only could be that holding midfielder. Now I think we're just saying he really can be, a center mid as well for us, a box-to-box center mid, a tempo setter even. Maybe he might not be the best in the world at maybe some of those that we were just describing, but certainly much better.
Against Watford, tempo setter, come on.
It was just unbelievable. And this is why I would say is, we're kind of seeing more elements to Hojbjerg's game than maybe we thought existed. And I think we're just all being witness to, Hojbjerg's brilliance, but love to see it continue. Faz Radfar saying, do you guys agree or do you agree winning the Palace game is the priority? I would absolutely agree that would be a priority. Am I reading that a bit wrong maybe?
No. Just do you agree with it? Look, you take one game at a time. Palace is the next game up. And that's my priority. So take the 3 points there. Then we can worry about Europa Conference League, Chelsea, the shitholes across the road there. Then we can start worrying about them. But until then, Palace is the priority, Faz. Really appreciate the support, my man.
Yeah, and I would say, Faz, maybe he means, in terms of the squad selection and things like that. I would say, Faz,
Okay.
yeah, maybe
Yeah,
he means
that's a
that.
good spin on it. Yeah. If it's in terms of squad selection, I would say, look, like I've already said, if Son is still carrying a bit of a knock or he's not 100%, because he's been carrying this since the Wolves game, drop him. Well, not drop him, just don't play him, rest him, bring someone else in. That's what I would do. But in terms of, look, for me, I'm always worried about the next game. I worry about the rest after that. So, look, Palace is definitely the priority, Faz. Everyone else, guys, if you are enjoying the show, feel free to get your super chats in to help support me and Jack. It is a great support, especially if you're enjoying it. And look, make sure you do smash that like button as well, guys. But look, Jack, let's get back to Højbjerg.
Let's get back to Højbjerg. Yeah. He's, again, of course, defensively, most tackles won with 7. That's probably not much of a surprise. But again, going back to the creative, ability of Højbjerg, second most shot creating actions with 7. And I do, if I'm not mistaken, I think Conor Gallagher had around 7 to 9 as well. So it does make you think, with Højbjerg, he's just practically been our most creative midfielder for our team. I would say he's been unbelievable. He also has the most switches of play, David, which I know you probably love to see that. He has 9 switches of play competed this season. He's just turned into Højbjerg Ping, Højbjerg Gino. Like I said, he's just been unbelievable. Højbjerg, like it's been said in the comments, is a god. Absolutely is a god for us. And I would love to see him continue. He probably might just be winning the unsung hero every single week, David.
Yeah, I'll be honest, Jack, if I had my way and you allowed me, I'd have him in there every single week. But let me be honest, he could be in there every single week if he just keeps doing what he's doing.
Yeah, he's leading and everything.
If anything better, you can't just change it up just for the sake of being different. If he's the best every week, you put him forward for it every week. It's that simple.
It's exactly it, guys. And please head on over to Football Reference, FB Ref, if you want to check out some of these stats. I mean, if you go to Tottenham, Højbjerg is just top of the list. Everything, just finds himself up there at everything. He must be collecting it, like these little trophies for himself, being like that, the top of the list on all these things. He really is improving his game. But moving on, guys, now how will Spurs attack, right? How will Spurs be able to hurt Crystal Palace? And the first one that we have is that Lucas and Emerson combination. They've probably been kind of gelling together over this time period in the training, David. I will say Emerson, he looks really slick. He looks like a nice guy, has nice, smile. It seems like him and Lucas, are getting along well. He looks like a cool guy, Emerson. And so honestly, I'm looking forward to him maybe having a debut against Crystal Palace. If he doesn't debut and it is Matt Doherty, be a very different story then. Maybe this combination play, probably isn't very realistic, but I'm going to be optimistic and I'm going to say Lucas and Emerson are going to be playing this game, David, and I could see them actually combining quite well in this upcoming game. So that's why I have an animation for Lucas and Emerson combining down the right-hand side here for us. It's just going to be a bit of kind of, long ball action up to Harry Kane there from Dyer. Harry Kane knocks it down to Lucas. Lucas plays it outside to Emerson. Emerson whips that ball in to Kane. It can be on the floor. It can be, in the air. Emerson, though, I really do hope that he's able to, maybe be a bit more of a creative fullback. For Real Betis, he was definitely more of a defensive kind of solid powerhouse. He had, I believe, some of the most tackles and interceptions combined of any fullback in La Liga. So he's very much more of a defensive powerhouse. But I would like to see him get forward, link up with Lucas here, and whip a ball in for Harry Kane and maybe open up the game for us.
Yeah, look, I think this is definitely plausible. Look, Harry Kane, we always know he likes to make himself available, take the ball in on the chest, take it down, look for a pass. Give it to Lucas. Lucas is going to have, and this is what we were talking about already throughout the stream. You have Mitchell there, Tyreek Mitchell. The guy's always getting spun like this, balls in behind him and stuff like that. Get Emerson on it. And look, I want to say, I think Emerson will play. This is just my personal opinion. Don't hold me to it. Don't shoot me down. But look, I think he will play. Look, you're not going to spend 30 million on him and then just play Doherty. If that happens, I'd be like, what's going on here? But you don't spend 30 million to not play him. So for me, and he actually has a few assists for Betis. He has a few assists as well. So, and he's a good crosser of the ball as far as I'm aware as well. So, and like I was saying already, if you're Harry Kane, you go on to Anderson, run off Anderson and get your goal. So it's exactly what we've been talking about all stream, more or less just coming together here, Jack.
Yeah, and even I would say too, it's also possible that Emerson, if he were to play, he's also plenty good at getting into the box. I think he also had some spectacular stats last season for La Liga and actually carries into the penalty area, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was like 90th percentile or something for carries into the penalty area for La Liga right backs. So honestly, Emerson, I'd love to see him absolutely bomb up and down this wing for us. It'd be absolutely fantastic to see.
No, it would be. It would be. I can't wait to see this guy in action, Jack. I really can't. I love a bit of a Brazilian player, I have to say. And look, from what I see with this guy, he's very aggressive as well, and he's not very easy to knock off the ball. So it's very interesting to see how young Tyreek, does up against him if he tries to act like the big man.
Yep. Definitely, and we'll see how Tyreek can handle up against the Emerson. But Harry Kane, of course, especially with Sonny being gone potentially for this match, David, Harry Kane is going to need to step up. Of course, with Harry Kane, we know the hold-up play is there. We know his ability to, handle the ball into the feet and play it in behind for players is just, unmatched, in practically the world. So Harry Kane here, let's just see how he does against, in this animation here. I have Harry Kane. Basically just holding up the ball, for us, basically just being, the classy number 9 that he is. He sees Lucas here. Lucas kind of is able to turn Guehi and Mitchell, and he's able to kind of complete a little bit of a 1-2 kind of action with Harry Kane here. It's just a bit of, kind of silky possession play here. And Lucas, makes that darting kind of 1-2 run. And Harry Kane, of course, is probably able to lay it off perfectly for him, probably perfectly weighted, just absolutely scrumptious pass here from Harry Kane. But David, is this kind of 1-2 play maybe possible between Harry Kane and Lucas?
No, it definitely is. Look, if I was Nuno and, you are probably looking at a way of maybe creating more chances. And look, we have seen Lucas pre-season come in off that right an awful lot. Haven't really seen it so much maybe against Watford, maybe against Wolves. From Lucas Moura coming in off the right that little bit. But now that you do have that focal point up front in Harry Kane, who will take the ball in, you can get Lucas in to come in now, receive that pass, do a 1-2 with Kane, and then he goes and puts it in the back of the net. So if we can get Lucas back to doing what he was doing so well pre-season, which was coming in off the right, like Jack has shown here, getting that play with Kane. We know like Lucas likes to pick up the ball and dribble at players, get that 1-2 and hopefully catch Guehi flat-footed, Jack.
Yeah. And I think what just happens here is, it's kind of hard to, maybe imagine, but in this scenario, it is Lucas, he's kind of just coming short. Lucas is fully capable of coming short and asking for the ball because in this scenario, when he comes short and receives it from Hojbjerg, he, takes that outside the foot touch there, into midfield, David, and just spins Mitchell and then is able to do a beautiful 1-2 with Harry Kane. Lucas, like you said, against Watford and Wolves, maybe that inside, coming inside ability, we weren't able to see as much. But against City, it was totally on display. And so maybe against a stubborn defense like Crystal Palace, it's possible we might see it again. But who's to know? But I would love to see it. So again, like always, we're just trying to come up with plausible scenarios for how we might envision our team scoring. And this is definitely one that I could say is totally possible. Another one of Harry Kane is going to be Harry Kane dropping deep, of course. Harry Kane dropping deep into the midfield and able to, ping a ball in behind. In this scenario, he is going to, play it to either whoever's going to be playing on our left wing. Could be Steven Bergwijn. It could be Brian Hill, but it is just, Harry Kane, simple as just dropping way deep into the midfield, practically next to the center defensive mids or the center backs, just basically demanding it from them and then being able to ping it into Hill. It's not really, rocket science, this kind of one, David, but it is definitely world-class ability that Harry Kane has. And I think it's something that we have to always remember that Harry Kane is fully capable of creating a goal like this for us.
100%. I don't know how many times just looking at it there. If you change Hill's name to Son, how many times can you say you've seen that goal? Kane dropping deep, picking up the ball, Son in behind. Kane finds him and he buries it. Look, the reason why we have Hill in there is because we are maybe thinking that Son might not be risked. But it's a goal we've seen time and time again. Kane picking up the ball, Son getting in behind, making that run off the fullback. Against against Southampton last season, whereas I think Son scored like 4 goals the exact same way. Or was it 2 or 3? I can't remember now, but the exact same run. Kyle Walker-Peters was out there at right full. Son just went as soon as Kane got the ball, made the run inside between the fullback and the centre back, and he's in behind. And Gill is a very, very smart, intelligent footballer, and I'd expect him to be able to do the same tomorrow. So 100%, I think this could be a move. Look, if it happens tomorrow, just know where you've seen it first. So I'm
Definitely. And last time, in Stats with Jack, we gave you a bit of that 3D animation just to remind you of how Harry Kane can do it. And believe me, we'll do it next time. But moving on, everybody. Sorry, guys, just receiving a call randomly. Brian Hill is going to be through the middle for this one. If Brian Hill plays, I'd love to see him create some type of passage of play through the middle. I'd love to see him be able to link up with Harry Kane. He's even, he's kind of rotated, David. When you even saw him on the left, he was able to rotate into the midfield, almost play kind of a number 10, basically in the midfield, maybe similar to what we've seen Lucas do before. But Brian Hill, I'd love to see him be able to not only get him behind and score like he did, earlier we saw with that Harry Kane animation, but also be able to maybe create a bit more and maybe be able to work off of Harry Kane. So this is kind of a scenario where we see Brian Hill maybe working with the Don, kind of playing a bit of 1-2 with him, just being able to, handle the midfield. In this scenario, it's just Anderson plays that long ball to Benteke. Let's say we win it in that scenario with Skippy and Dyer. And then from there, we kind of just basically break from there. So it's Benteke and Skippy right there. We win it. Dele plays it to Reguilon. Reguilon pushes his upfield, just absolutely burns Zaha, plays it inside to Hill there. Hill is able to then find the Harry Kane, who's just waiting, sets up himself for this beautiful run inside. And we do see, Brian Hill, he's very creative. Of course, and he's very skillful as well, David. So this kind of outside the foot, maybe pass, dink right here seems totally possible for him, if you ask me. And as well, guys, Reguilon, if Zaha lines up on the same side as Reguilon, as much as Reguilon could get burned, by Zaha, like, we were kind of worried about with Ismail Assar, it's also fully possible that, Reguilon was going to have to make, Wilfred Zaha work or make Joel Ward work.
Well, no, look, 100%. Look, with this one, Jack, we've seen how much Kane really relished playing with Hill against Pacos de Ferreira. Every time Hill got the ball, he was trying to find Kane. And most of his passes reached Kane's feet as well. And for me, look, I think just the IQ of Hill, the movement to Hill, he's not just going to stick out left. He will pick up them spaces that Jack's pointing out here. Just on the inside, just in here. No fullback wants to be brought in that far. It creates space for Reguilon on the outside, and it creates space for Kane to be able to make that run. And trust me, Hill will find him. Kane makes that run, Hill will find him.
Definitely. And I like how you said that, David. Of course, we saw Hill, take it down the outside and be able to play beautiful balls into the box, for Kane. But it's also very possible that he can work his way into the middle and be able to create something there. That's how I prefer to see it happen, if you ask me, but also very, very possible that he could just take this down the wing and, give Harry Kane a similar goal that Harry Kane scored against Pacos de Ferreira. So let's just play this one more time, though, for you. It is a long ball to Benteke, which we will see plenty of times. Let's say we recover it. Dele Alli plays it out to Reguilon, who then is able to find Hill, who dinks it inside to Kane for another goal there, everybody. But I do think that might be the last of the animations. And yeah, everybody, this is the last of Stats with Jack. Thank you for watching, everybody. It's another Stats with Jack. There'll be another one next week. But I do hope that you guys enjoyed this one. We kind of had, everything from, of course, the stats on Crystal Palace players to how they can hurt us, to versions of how, Spurs can hurt Crystal Palace. So I do hope you guys enjoyed, though, as well. Please let me know maybe any sort of goals, animations, stats that I might have left out as well, because Dave and I are totally trying to improve.
No, look, 100%. Look, I think you look at the first one we've put out to now, Jack, I think you'd see tenfold improvement. The graphics that we're using now to bring the stats up for people, I think it is improving. But guys, it's nowhere near the finished article. We want your opinions, whether it's in the comments now, whether it's in the comments when this video is finished, whether you want to email us or anything else like that. Please let us know any suggestions that you have. You think maybe we can make this better. You're not offending us. You're not going to piss us off. Nothing like that. We're big men. We can take a bit of criticism. And at the end of the day, we know it's only because you want to try and help us improve ourselves and be better. So we do want you to find suggestions. You guys are the ones that's tuning in. We want your suggestions on all our shows. So do let us know what your thoughts are. But I want to say a massive thank you again to Jack, for all the work he puts in, especially today. Look, I've been busy today, and Jack has really had to carry the can, and he produced what he has today. It's been absolutely amazing. And he does it every week. This thing that we got made for us, the tactical board and stuff like that, it's not easy to work. It takes time. and Jack does it. Me, I would end up breaking my computer. I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't have the time for it. But Jack sits there, perseveres with it, and look, this show is all Jack. So guys, just big him up. I want to say a massive thank you to you, the Harris Army, for tuning in again. A massive thank you for the support. A massive thank you for the super chats. I can't emphasize this enough. These shows are absolutely nothing without you guys tuning in. The day you guys stop tuning in is the day me and Jack disappear. It's as simple as that. So keep tuning in, guys. Keep tuning in. We like, you know, it's very important. And like I said, this show is absolutely nothing without you. But Jack, would you like to say anything to the Harris Army out there?
No, really well said there, David. And I would emphasize that twice, actually. I would say, everybody, I do hope that you enjoyed this show, but please, please, please keep tuning in for shows like this if you do enjoy it, because all the support, everything from a like to a comment, to just simply being, you know, one of the people in the Harris Army just watching in the chat is a huge support to us. It's a huge support to the algorithm. Anything from just putting in a comment, you know, about Easy Pass or Moon Boots, just any of it. Really, it is a huge help to us. We do really appreciate you all for tuning in. We do appreciate you all for always showing up and being the absolute legends that the Harris Army is always. But again, guys, you know, we do appreciate your support. We do need your support, though, as well, as like David said, you know, at the end of the day. And so we do absolutely love and appreciate you guys. But as always, the support is always, it's incredible. But please, please, please keep it up, because we do need it.
No, it is. And Am Singh says, do you boys do YouTube full time? Look, we're trying our best to try and make it full time. That's for sure. I can tell you that. But it's not easy. It's not easy with no sponsorships, no nothing like that. It's very, very hard. We purely rely on the super chats, you know, to try and make it full time. So, you know, guys, you know, it is a massive help. But as well as that, like, you know, with the super chats we've been getting, we're putting it back into the channel to try and bring it to a new level, elevate it, so that we can try and get bigger and better and stuff like that. Look, you guys can already see that with the rig and the setup that I'm after. You know, that we're after, that I'm after going, instead of going on this all the time. You know, that was torture. You know, to get in the tactical pad, and all that sort of stuff. So look, I'm saying, all I can say is we're definitely trying our best. That's for sure, my man. A lot of big ups here, big up. You know, I
appreciate you all, Harris Army, and I do hope you guys enjoyed. And as always, let me know, you know, whatever stats or animations, you know, you feel like I left out. Even someone below said, you know, next time we're going to need one of more skinning past 5 players and chipping it in. Ellie saying, absolutely, really do appreciate it. She's saying, Jack is your favorite actor. Is the brilliant Sam Rockwell. Mine is the magnificently talented Al Pacino. I do know that, Ellie. Let's put it out there. That's our truth. We'll say Al Pacino is definitely much more of a household name. Definitely much more of a household name than maybe my Sam Rockwell. Definitely much more of a household name. Probably more of a Hoy Beer, you might say. You know, Al Pacino, absolute legend. But yeah, I really do appreciate it, Ellie. I do hope you enjoyed it. I do hope you're able to stick around for all of it as well, Ellie. But as always, you know, Harris Army, been absolute legends for sticking around.
Jack Wesley says, look, the Jack Stats segment, it isn't very good. It's bloody great.
He doesn't like it. He loves it. He says he doesn't like it. He loves it. Yeah.
Adam D says, I tuned in straight away, smash the like button for the lads. Exactly. Lads, if everyone could be like Adam D, you know, as soon as you tune in, no matter what stream you're on, just a quick like, takes 2 seconds and it's free. Big up, Adam D. You're setting the standard, my man. Big yourself up. Wolf Mauler. Yeah, he's a gentleman Broncos. Yeah, I think he knows who he is. We have Abdul Karim. We're going to need an animation of more running past 5 players and chip the goalkeeper. Look, that's what the Harris Army want. We can give it to them. It's not factual, but we'll give it to you. Cody Mack with a thumbs up. Big up, Cody. William McKenzie, absolutely loving life. Faz says, come on, Jack, show the league table, please. Look, we'll put the league table in it for next. Look, I'll be honest with you, that was my call. Leave the league table out till the first 5 games. But probably thinking ahead, it's my mistake. I'm going to put the league table in just for you, Faz. We might even call it the Faz Premiership up top, change the title and everything else. But no, we'll definitely add that in, Fazzy. Don't worry about that. And we have Lisa Oodle. Says, appreciate you guys on your streams. Great work. Look, really appreciate
you, Lisa.
So much, Lisa. Too kind. And Don Anthony.
Very nice, Lisa.
Don's only tuning in and we're on our way out. Sorry, Don, but I love the name, man. I love the name. But look, guys, there you have it. There's stats with Jack. Tottenham versus Crystal Palace at the weekend. I can't wait. Look, we're top of the league. Like I said, I can't wait to take down some Eagles. You know, the Eagles annoy me anyway, to be honest with you. But look, you know, another great show by Jack, I have to say. Well put together. Massive thank you to you, the Harris Army, for tuning in, and anyone else. Massive thank you for all the support and the super chats and that, guys. And look, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you smash that subscribe button if you know. Big push for 5K is on. I'd love to get there. And, what else was I going to say? Yeah, and get your comments in below on the video, guys. Get your comments in below. Let us know what you think about it. Like I said, let us know where you think we can improve. But until tomorrow, we're back tomorrow at 9:30 with a preview where we're bringing on guests and getting some different opinions going into the Palace game, guys. So look, until then, in Nuno we trust. In Jack we trust. Come on, you Spurs.
In Nuno we trust.
In Jack we trust. Come on, you Spurs. No, my bad. We forgot something. Jack, plug the flatcapeurotalk.
Ooh, thank you, David. Everybody. The weekend watch list has just been out. If you need the football to be watching this weekend, head on over to Flat Cap Euro Talk. It is in the description below, everybody, for Flat Cap Euro Talk. The weekend watch list is out, like Catman Jazz said right here. I do appreciate that, Catman. Appreciate
take that off. You don't want to get Jack in trouble.
Months. But yeah, everybody, weekend watch list is out. Dave and I will be recording our Champions League group breakdown. We'll be doing kind of a bit of a predictions video. Where do we think kind of all the Champions League groups will line up? So if you're looking for what David has to say on a bit of European football, it is going to be coming out. We're going to be releasing that video Monday. So everybody, since the Champions League is coming back, the group action, the group play is coming back this upcoming Tuesday and Wednesday. So everybody, head on over to Flat Cap Euro Talk if you're looking for a bit of Champions League breakdown to begin off the season. I know Darius is going to be joining me for plenty of it as well. So everybody, Champions League is, it's on the rise. It's coming. It's around the corner. So everybody, please keep an eye out for it at Flat Cap Euro Talk for sure. But as always, absolute legends, everybody, for giving the support over there. It's been unreal.
Yeah, and look, we will be doing
Paro Miguel is a huge fan as well. Paro Miguel, really do appreciate you all the time on Flat Cap Euro Talk, as well as Catman Jazz. Catman Jazz is another true legend like Paro Miguel when it comes to Flat Cap Euro Talk. Really do appreciate you guys. Really do appreciate you guys. You don't know how much it means to me to see you guys giving your comments, your thoughts, and everything under every video, saying which players you would have gone for, which games you would have watched. It really does help a lot. It's like I'm becoming friends with you guys every single day, getting to know you guys' kind of football taste, your guys' kind of interests and whatnot. So really do appreciate you guys, especially Escobardo and as well as Catman Jess for sure.
Yeah, absolute legends. Sam Smith says, "I'm so happy you two have a channel. You're too much for TV, David." Lol. Yeah, look, TV wouldn't have me, I'd be too funny for them. I'd be causing riots, people clipping me and writing articles in the paper, the big bad Dave, you're sad. So, Sam Smith, I'd be definitely too much for TV, that's for sure. They wouldn't be able to handle an Irish man like me, 100%. But look, this girl, I can't say any more about her, I really can't, but says, big up Ellie, says, Kane will be the bane of the Palace defense and our great day in helping the defense. He'll be insane. 100%. Ellie coming in after saying he'll be insane. 100%. Ellie, look, Jack. Look. Bring up the picture of Højbjerg just for Ellie. Just for Ellie. Ellie, I don't know whether you've already seen it, but look, we've got a nice picture here just for you. We know how much of a fan you are of Højbjerg. We'll let you oogle over him just for a couple of seconds.
Look at the sleeve, Dave. You can see
tattoos.
The beautiful tattoo, the nice vein and the bicep there, as always. Beautiful haircut, of course, he has that nice, facial hair, the reddish facial hair, which is hard to pull off, I will say, because I have red facial hair, and I will say it is hard to pull off. But definitely Ellie, excuse me. Sorry, Ellie. She honestly is so incredibly generous. No, she's got me kind of a bit flabbergasted. She's got me a bit blushing, I would say. Ellie, thinking about Højbjerg in this way too probably has me blushing. But Ellie, really do appreciate you. And as well, I do want to see Kane absolutely tear apart Palace. Hopefully you saw those animations, Ellie, of, Harry Kane tearing apart Palace. One where he's holding up the ball, against the center backs. The other one where he drops in deep, plays it in behind the hill. Let me know, Ellie. But yeah, he definitely will be the bane of their existence.
Yeah, look, you can imagine Ellie sitting there with the tub of Ben and Jerry's, big smile on her face, looking at the picture of Højbjerg, just sitting there for a moment, taking it in and thinking, life cannot get any better. Ice cream makes me feel good. Højbjerg looks good. It's all easy on the eyes, easy on the palate. What more do you want, Jack? Life is good So, yeah, Lenny, I hope you enjoyed that picture. I hope you enjoyed the picture of Højbjerg. We put that one in just for you because we know how much you like him. And she says, come on, Harris Army, let's be having you. BG Zulu says, come on, smash the like button. 100%, 100%. Big yourself up. Sam Smith says, this show is doing stuff that no one else is doing. Please don't stop. We need this content constant. Look, we ain't stopping. We ain't stopping. Even if it was the lowest viewed video on the channel, which it's definitely not. But even if it was, we'd still keep going because we actually really enjoy doing this. It's something right up our street. It's something we went out our way to purposely look to be able to do. So I'm glad you enjoy it as well, Sam Smith. I really appreciate that. It's good to get the
very nice, Sam.
Get the feedback. And Don Anthony says, you made my evening already. I appreciate it. Don. But look, Wolf Mauler says, keep it going, lads. The only way is up.
Wow, Mauler, Mr. Mauler, Mr. Wolf. Really do appreciate it, Wolf. Really do appreciate it. Hope you're keeping well, Wolf, as well, considering that, I do think it's a bit of a kind of a long time that I feel like since Spurs have even played. So, Wolf is, kind of like David, where it's kind of that drought, it gets a bit antsy, like Dark Sun G, right? Where, they don't see Spurs play and they kind of, start to go a bit crazy. So Wolf, I do hope everything's all right for you over there. Do hope everything's okay with you. But Wolf, as always, really do appreciate you. We do appreciate you, Wolf. You're a huge legend for us. Really big support as always as well. So we really do appreciate you, as well as Ellie. Always appreciate Ellie. Always such a legend to us. And Dark Sun G, he's gone a bit quiet, so maybe he just went to bed, David. But Dark Sun G as well, we do want to wish you a good night. Honestly, such a legend to us as well, Dark Sun G. Everybody in the Harris Army, from Catman Jess, Dark Sun G, to Shamu, to Sam Smith here, to BG Zulu, to Ellie, to Paul Brown, to there's too many in the Harris Army, but there's never too many, I would say. But everybody, big yourselves up. Everybody in the Harris Army, hope you're keeping well. Hope you enjoyed the Stats with Jack, and just relax now that you just saw all these animations, all these ways that we were able to break down Spurs and whatnot, or break down Crystal Palace and whatnot. You guys now know that we can easily win this game. You've now seen it. We put it out in front of them, David, how we can win this game. So honestly, guys, just dream of it. Just dream of those animations. Dream of the tactical insights that Nuno will be, thinking up himself. So everybody, just relax, and we'll be going into this with 3 points.
Yeah, look, just take it easy, sit back. I know it's going to be early on a Saturday, 12:30. Honestly, who cares? Just crack open a beer, enjoy yourself. We're going to win. You know what I mean? Go to the pub early, do whatever you have to do. Get a slap up roast at 12, go bold. Dinner, go for a pint roast. Watch Spurs beat the Eagles. After that, have a lot more points, then head home and whip out the Ben and Jerry's and just enjoy life. Look, Palace should be an easy game. I don't care what anyone says. Last year was our own fault that we let them come back against us at Selhurst. We should be slapping these. Honestly, anyone likes a bit of Eagles, slap a bit of brown sauce on it and just chew into the thing. We should be beating these very, very easy. But big up, Big Bad Wolf. Good to see you in the building, my man. I really appreciate the support. Catman Jess, Harris Army, and the Flat Cap Army. Big up, Catman Jess. Big yourself up. Really appreciate it. Top man. And look, I'm not going to make you pick, but what army do you side with more? Let me know, Catman. I think I know. I definitely think it's the Flat Cap Army. But look, let me know, Flat Catman. I was about to call you Flatman Jess just because I was about to say Flat Cap. But sorry, Catman Jess. Really appreciate it. But no, look, we really are on our way out this time. We really are, guys. Who was the auctioneer with the Flat Cap? Look, I could be the auctioneer if you want. Not a problem, guys. Just crack open a beer at 12:30. You're too much. Yeah, honestly.
It's been done before, Sam. I will say it's been done before. I have done it before. I wouldn't, I even might admit, I've done it actually in the last 3 weeks, I would say too. I've done that. So all I will say, Sam, no shame in it. No shame in it. Especially when you're top of the table. Top of the table, no shame in it.
And what I will say as well, Sam, if it's warm, take the kids' paddling pool, put a bit of water in it, sit in the paddling pool, have the TV at the window so you can still watch the match, and sit in the paddling pool with a beer. Why not? Who cares? There's definitely ways to enjoy yourself. All I'm going to say is basic. Look, it's going to be a good weekend. I'm going to be 4 from 4, 12 points, sitting pretty top of the league. Sun will be shining. It's going to be a great weekend. So get the pellets guns out and let's shoot down some Eagles. Come on, you Spurs.
Yeah, definitely, Sam. Definitely.